Hey everyone, it's Amia Khan here with your Fox 10 News Now update. Joining me is John Hook for a very special edition of Fox 10 News Now because, well, I think it's very special.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do.
We're starting the show with you.
Yes.
You're a very special guest.
I don't think that's ever happened.
This is sort of a special planned chat with you.
Right.
This is something that we've been promoting all day, the
Exactly.
Q&A session with John Hook. We're not going to start the show off just talking about our usual afternoon updates.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to those.
Sure,
We're still going to do that, but
yeah, we were gonna chat and just do a chat with all of you guys, give you guys a chance to talk to me, and we'll interact a little bit. So kind of be like radio open phones, which is always fun,
right?
Because you never know what's coming.
So I want to pull up. I need to pull up our chat windows.
But one of the things we were going to talk about a little bit, because really what we're engaging in.
This is something that.
Oh, that's
Whoa,
us on
that's
delay. That's a little weird. One of the things we were going to talk about, and I pushed this on Twitter and on Facebook, was this idea of opinion in news. And I wanted to get your guys' take on this, because really when we get up here, we're stepping a little bit out of our normal role as a broadcaster, right? Because some of these,
when you join News Now?
Yes.
Because we're more conversational.
And we're giving a little bit more opinion about stuff.
Right, and I encourage opinion. I've asked every reporter, every anchor that comes here, I tend to ask questions that warrant opinions.
Okay, right.
Because we're in this long form sort of format.
It's talk radio.
Right,
basically.
And so it's not necessarily just here are the quick facts, minute and a half package, I gotta get out of here. I take people's minute and a half package and make them sit here for 15 minutes and talk to me about it.
Right. So the question is, as we venture into opinion, you're going to learn more about kind of where I'm coming from socially, politically, philosophically. And is that a good or bad thing?
Well,
because some people love this idea. The old deal was that you would go on the news and nobody would know.
I have Starbucks.
Nobody would know supposedly what you were thinking. I don't think that's really possible. I mean, you can't ask someone not to have opinions. The idea was to try to keep them under wraps, and you try to as best you can. But at the same time, maybe it's more intellectually honest that people know where you're coming from. And then when you're doing the news, they can evaluate whether you have the ability to be fair and balanced, despite having a bias.
Right, but I feel like there are cable news networks and even like online blogs, they built whole careers around opinion.
Right. And that's not what we do traditionally, right?
Yeah, traditionally,
but I have done it.
School.
I have done it because I have done a lot of talk radio, so I have to fill in. You can't go on talk radio and just not give any opinion. You can't do it.
Right. Well, you'd be done in a minute.
Right. You'd be finished.
You would give the facts and then walk away.
So, I'm curious what you guys think about this. Alfredo says, I think opinions are a good thing. You get more than just a standard PC-approved report. That's interesting, okay? I think we need to define the term news. That's what Steve C. says.
That's a really good point, because what is news now? I feel like with Twitter, you don't necessarily need your traditional news source to get the news. Regular people are tweeting out news because they're witnessing it firsthand, for example.
Sure.
Or like the latest information.
Right.
And then secondly, you're right. How do you define news? I mean, I remember being in LA. I was at USC, and I still remember it to this day. I was in our newsroom, our student newsroom, and they have all the monitors with all the different networks. And the ABC affiliate in LA, which is the number one station out there in LA, led their 5 o'clock, or maybe it was their 4 o'clock newscast with Britney Spears shaving her head.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
I'm saying that was the lead. And
I know. It's all news. It's all...
does that count as news?
Sure. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know that I'd lead with it.
But is it
because
just
it doesn't
things
affect
that are
anybody.
Interesting?
Well,
is that how we define news?
I've always defined it as who cares and who's affected. So I think this is interesting. Jane said Walter Cronkite just gave the news.
But that was
I would disagree with that. Walter Cronkite gave the news, but when it came to the Vietnam War, he made it very clear after a trip there that he had lost confidence in our ability to execute that war and win it, whatever winning meant. And he made that very clear on the broadcast, and that's when Richard Nixon said, if we've lost Walter Cronkite, we've lost the war. So this has been happening. People do give opinion. And I think you probably all out there, I think viewers are very perceptive. They can figure out if they watch someone long enough where they're coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
It bleeds in. They're going to find out. They're going to figure it out. So, is it more honest just to be honest about it instead of trying to put this shroud of mystery around everything you're doing? I think the public is kind of wondering, oh, come on. You got to be kidding, right? They know, they kind of get a sense of where you're coming from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the viewers chiming in, you mentioned, should we just be honest and open? Savannah, that's the thing she says about News Now. I love the honesty of the station.
Wow,
that
that's
great.
great.
We're so real here on News Now. John Pershilly wants to see more investigative news. Alfredo, I think, sums it up best. I see News Now as unfiltered, no-nonsense news.
Okay, true.
That's
okay,
actually,
Alfredo,
I
I
think,
agree.
really well summed up.
And but as a result of that, you're going to see us exposing opinion about stuff that we might not do out on the news set. The question is, where's that line? Where do you guys prefer that line to be? Do you want it to be a complete open book, or do you think there are still barriers as to how much opinion you want to hear and what you want to hear here versus there, and is there a difference?
I don't know. Well, Jonathan thinks opinions are always good. It's important we let our voices be heard with respect to all opinions, keeping an open mind.
That Jonathan hit on it beautifully, because I think if you're going to give some opinion, you have to respect the other side as well, and try to be fair about giving the other side and let them have their say as well. Somebody may say, well, I know where that newscaster's coming from. I've heard him talk about it before. But they seem to be playing it fairly down the middle, even though I know that they don't like something. For instance, I've railed about photo radar for years. And I did this early on. Every time we'd have a photo radar story, because I did stories on it, and I came to the opinion that this is about making money. It's not about safety. It may be about both, but the companies running it are for-profit companies. This is about making money. They can't make money unless people speed and they cash them, okay? The companies running this are not your police departments. It's a for-profit company. So I started saying things about this on the news. I was very opposed when they put cameras on the 51, started putting them on freeways around the valley, and I kind of let that go out there. My theory was if 70% of the people are with you on an issue, you're probably okay.
But what if they're not? What if you only have 20% with you? Are you still going to say it?
That's where you got to be careful.
But
because
I feel
you
like
might really tick off a lot of viewers.
You might tick off a lot of viewers, but I also think this day and age, the best television involves that sort of debate and that discussion. And,
I agree.
I feel like people are tuning in for the debate and the discussion, not just to get the facts. You want to just get the facts, you could read read an article.
I agree with that. And I think some of these rules have kind of been shattered over the past 10, 15 years.
Well, I think especially with social media, with people, everyone, not just people in the news media, but regular people putting their opinion on their Facebook statuses about everything. They tweet about everything. It's just become the norm that everyone has an opinion on everything and they have to put it out there.
Right.
That's just become normal.
And I think, on CNN and on Fox News Channel, you know where Fox News Channel is coming from. You generally know where MSNBC is coming from. CNN might be a little bit more in the middle. But if you watch each of these hosts for any period of time, if they're going to do 8 hours on Ferguson, you're going to get a pretty clear idea where they're coming from because of their questions, the way they handle the questions, the way they deflect questions, the way they phrase things, the way the language they use. You're going to figure out, if you're perceptive, where the person is coming from. You're going to figure it out. So how much pretense about this do we want?
Did you see what David said? I especially love John and Carrie opinions on 9 p.m. news. The buzz is the greatest.
We got to tell our
producer,
our fearless leader, about that. Yeah, the buzz has been an interesting thing because we do give a lot of opinion. It's not about hard news, however. The buzz is more kind of slice of life.
But I think those are my favorite stories.
Well, I know that.
Well, I mean,
you love that stuff.
I just
but
like.
You were all over the entertainment stuff out in LA,
I was,
right?
Yeah, I was in that world for a bit.
The question is, if you do the buzz and you start talking about, and we wouldn't do it. What do you think about the nuclear deal with Iran? Do you think we got taken? Do you think it was a good deal?
Yeah,
now you're in a very delicate situation. So the buzz might be more about rearing kids, marriage, sex, all of that.
Alfredo
So.
chiming in, the buzz got pushed from 30 seconds to 50 seconds. I love it. Another fan for the buzz.
Great.
We're just going to have
Alfredo.
we're just going to start an online petition or campaign to make the whole 9 o'clock hour.
The buzz?
The buzz.
Oh, man. Now I know. My
good.
news director, Doug Banner, he
good.
would pull the plug on that.
Oh,
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Okay. It's
Dan
about
in Florida,
yeah.
is there interactive news around the country? I feel like we're kind
interactive news around
I feel
the
like
country.
what we're doing here is the first of its kind. Hi, why am I being waved at?
There's Doug
I'm
Banner.
so confused.
Yes, he's shaking his head in agreement. No. Yeah, the buzz was one of the things that we kind of put in the 9 o'clock as, an idea to shake it up a little bit. Have
Right.
it be a little bit different than what everybody's doing.
Right. Let's see. Maddie Mason, this is her opinion. Be an open book, but don't get yourself in hot water with your opinion.
Maddie, that's the trick, and that's
Yeah.
a tough one. Mm-hmm. And I've been in hot water a couple of times, so it happens. And I've been in it, so I know what you're talking about.
Alfredo saying, I think the TV broadcast is always going to have a limit. Online being an open platform for all, it's the perfect place to hold a no-holds-barred access on stories deeper than we could on live TV. That's what News Now is, I think.
This
I think it's
Alfredo
this
is
extension.
very perceptive.
He's on top of a lot of
He
stories.
is. Alfredo, hats off to you. That is
One
good
of our
stuff.
very loyal viewers. Angela Prince, it helps to have that immediate
Oh,
feedback.
also ask John about valet parking if you want to get an earful.
What's your take on valet parking?
I hate it. I
annoying.
absolutely hate it. I hate that they eat up every good space around any place you're trying to go to eat dinner, shop, and what they want is to shake you down and get you to park valet. I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
There was a recent law, like a crackdown in LA, because a lot of these valet parking companies would put up signs like no parking signs on legit meters that we should be parking.
Oh, great. All right.
Like we would be
That's
able to
a
park
double
there, but then they
shakedown.
start stealing the open spaces and then claim them as valet. And now I believe if you see that happening, there's a phone number where you can like get that valet
hotline.
Yeah.
You get right to the mayor's
I remember
office.
this story.
You should.
Yeah,
I really
just so
don't like
annoying.
the idea. If they're going to valet your car, first of all, they should be parking it away from the front of the establishment. You shouldn't eat up all of the best parking spots with the valet company, forcing you into buying their service. If you're going to valet it, it should be a free-for-all in the front of the restaurant or whatever, and everybody can get in there and try to get the best spot they can. If the valets are going to valet your car, they should be driving them to another location.
They should be doing something that is worth the fee that
exactly.
you pay for valet.
If they're just going to take my car and park it 15 feet away, I'm out.
Well, and then on top of that, it gets annoying because at the end of your whatever you're doing, event, dinner, anything, then you have to sit there and wait. And sometimes you have to wait for
and
valet
you can see
for like
your car
15
right
minutes.
there, right?
And it's the
Yeah.
worst.
Can't stand it.
Yeah.
It's a shakedown.
I'm with you. Ashley Gray chiming in. I like opinions as long as they're the same as mine. It's human nature. It's
Exactly.
human nature. I tend to shy away from article stories with different views than mine.
And that's what's happening. I mean, there's a great quote that we used to disagree about issues, and that the facts would determine what would be the outcome, right? But now everybody's arguing using their own facts, so this has even gotten difficult for people. So they go to the sources that reinforce generally their perception of an issue or whatever it might be. They want to reinforce their opinion.
Right. Jane Wilcox chiming in. Before I became a News Now addict, I like to watch Shepard Smith. He's good with his sarcastic commentary.
Shepard definitely ventures into opinion. He's, and Shepard, if you listen to Shepard, I think on Fox News Channel, it's pretty clear he leans a little bit left of center. And this is a little bit unexpected for Fox News Channel. He's taken some positions about, for instance, the Iran nuclear deal. Basically saying, look, if you want war, don't like the deal. If you don't want war, like the deal. And I mean, he's laying it out there in pretty stark terms. So,
David Wallace, opinions combined with the news personalizes the news crew with viewers. It's why I'm a Fox 10 News fan. Right, because they now have a connection with you because they get to know you as more than just a person telling them the news.
Right.
They get to know you, John Hook, the human.
well, and of course, through history, all these people on the network, newscasters who kept their opinion very bottled up. You know that they have an opinion. Howard K. Smith said, you can have an opinion. I think it was Howard K. Smith, might have been Harry Reasoner, said, of course you have an opinion. The question is, can you be fair? That's really the question,
absolutely.
because everybody's got opinions, of course. There's no doubt about that. Oh,
Sherry Kina really likes News Now because she is able to provide her own opinion nearly as instantaneously as hearing the opinion of the reporter.
absolutely. And we love that. That's what makes this whole thing go around. That's what's so fun about it, because for us, traditionally in the past, this has been a very one-way conversation. Carrie and I go on and we do the news. We're talking to you. We're not getting anything back. This is a really unique thing. I really enjoy it. It's good. It reminds me of talk radio.
Ashley Gray following up with her previous statement, but I'm also open to other people's opinions as long as they are intelligently supported, even if I ultimately disagree with what they're saying.
And respectful. Respectful. This is an important point. Let's take climate change for an example, okay? We have been hearing over and over and over that the debate is over. I think that's a false choice. I know people in the science arena. There are climatologists at ASU who disagree fundamentally that the science is closed on this matter. So to say that is saying, shut your mouth, we've got the answer, you can't have an opinion. That's ridiculous. People, of course, can have an opinion, and they should. So I object to that. I really object to that. Yeah, they could say the science is closed all they want, but there are people, I'm telling you, who disagree with you. So you have to be respectful of other opinions.
Steve C. chiming in, I get my news, quote-unquote news, from C-SPAN. It's new events. I value in-depth analysis of complex world events, and I do want to know what the opinion is of the newscaster.
Wow. That's interesting. Well, how far do you want us to go?
I don't know. Joe Foley, if you go down the road of saying your opinion, you're opening a whole can of worms. Joe Foley out in the UK, Northwest England.
Yes, Joe, that's true. That's true. You are, because people then kind of know where you're coming from when you're doing the news. I think you're walking a tightrope. Wow, we're getting a lot of.
Let's see. Now they're asking you
They're
about
back on
valet.
the valet.
Well,
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
we're just
we're
like
trailing.
we're behind.
We're
They
trailing.
talk faster than we can get down to. What about valet that dives through your seats for goodies? Alfredo wants to know.
Yeah, back to the valet thing. That's the other thing. Some people don't even want anybody parking their car. So for some company to eat up all the great spots, I think it's...
And that's when you just decide to not drive and get an Uber and have someone drop
true.
you. You know what? Actually,
Oh, I have a question about Uber I need to ask you guys.
Well,
okay,
no,
go ahead.
Well, no, I actually have friends in LA. I remember for dinner or wherever they would go, they'd rather Uber because the cost of that Uber X or Lyft is pretty much the same as getting doing
That's
valet.
a great point.
It's
That's a
like,
great
well,
point.
why? And especially a place like that where parking is so scarce.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, well, I could pay however much for valet, or I could just Uber it there and back.
Right.
And you have your DD.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. So we had this debate the other night. We go to a friend's house for this. We do these wine parties where everybody brings a wine, and somebody's cooking the dinner. Blah blah blah. I mean, the person in the home is cooking the dinner, but we do a wine thing. We say, okay, we're going to do Spanish Reds, and everybody brings one. And it's a blind test of all these wines,
Oh, interesting.
blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do, here was our dilemma. We're going to their house. Their son, who's 12, no, he's 14. He was going to babysit our kids. So we're like, okay, if we get a driver and come home, we can't drive their son back to their house. So
Right.
could we get an Uber for the 14-year-old to take him back home?
In theory,
Okay,
yes.
is he too young for us to get an Uber for him to take him back to his house? And we asked his parents. I said, this is what I was considering. My wife said, absolutely
Oh,
not.
wow. I never thought about that.
And I said, how would you feel about Nicholas going back home with Uber if we had chosen to do this?
And what answer did you get?
The father was, no problem. The mother was a little more iffy. The moms are much more protective.
Right.
So,
That's interesting.
because if you're going to get a babysitter and you're going to have a driver, then how do you get the babysitter home if you've got to drive the babysitter home?
And the babysitter's not old enough to drive.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Right.
Then you just get a babysitter that's at least 16.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're going to put him in the car with a stranger.
Yeah.
This is tricky stuff. So,
John Pershilly has an interesting statement. I agree with this statement. Everybody is entitled to their opinions, but not their own facts.
well, this is the thing. I think the facts now, John, are that people are debating their own facts. Each side has their own facts that they throw at each other. So it's very confusing. Certain issues are very, very confusing. Okay, Rachel says, I just got in on what's going on. Rachel, welcome to the party.
Ashley Gray, I also think people will seek out news that they generally share the same views and opinions as. Savannah Rose, I like seeing a topic discussed from both sides. Makes you think harder about issues. That's an excellent point, and I think
Agreed.
that's the ideal situation, that you hear both sides and, you know.
Right, and I like
Think
that. I like that when news programs have that, and you can kind of course, a lot of it turns into a screaming match. So science is never 100% certain about anything. That is very true. And if
Joe Foley's question.
getting back to that, we got on this side tangent about climate change. Everything should be questioned in science because that leads to good science. If you didn't question science, there are so many discoveries I can't even begin to tick them all off that wouldn't have been made because people question conventional wisdom.
Right.
Using leeches to suck blood, whatever it may be, people thought about it in a different way and said, we got to rethink this. We may be off on this. Mm-hmm. So that is only proper that people question, even what's accepted. That it's okay to say, are we looking at this? Have we looked at this from every angle? Mm-hmm. I think that's important.
Joe Foley has a question for you, John. Do news anchors actually have free reign, or do they have to stick to what the station believes?
No, that's a great point, Joe, and I'm asked this a lot. Fox, which owns us, we're owned and operated, we're an O&O. They have never, ever told us what we should say or report or believe. If they did, you'd probably have a mass exodus.
Well, you know what? When I
you don't want to be told from either side what to think or believe.
A lot of people asked me, like,
exactly.
So many people thought that it was like, guys, I can say whatever I want.
Do you know why? Where is it? Oh, we don't have it. Well, we do.
What?
It's that logo, Fox.
Right, no,
that is
I know.
A powerful calling card. It's a powerful image and brand. Mm-hmm. So people assume, because Fox News Channel swings right of center, that we're all there, that we're a very conservative station. We have a wide array of opinions in this place. Right? You've been in the editorial meeting.
Yeah, every day. Morning
Do you think this is a conservative bastion in this newsroom? Don't make me laugh.
I mean, it's an interesting mix of people, and I think that's what makes the newsroom great, is having different people, because then it accurately reflects the area that you represent.
Exactly right.
I think you have to have a wide array of people.
Right.
David Wallace, I like his comment. I imagine many times producers are yelling in John's, Carrie's, Troy's, or someone else's ear, "Don't say that."
No. Yeah, I mean, they really don't.
Yeah.
We're kind of left to our own devices, and that's part of the trust that's established with management and the people on the air, that they hopefully believe that we're not going to burn them, and we're not going to get into too much hot water. But at the same time, I think people want you to let a little bit out there, put a little bit out there.
Here's a question from one of our very loyal viewers, Jeff Moriarty. What if someone said they thought the world was flat and we were being lied to? At what point do you just say that's not opinion anymore, you're just wrong? Okay,
well that one is provable, and we know for certain that the world is not flat. We've got a ISS up there right now that can prove it. So yeah, there are certain things that are givens, but there are certain things where the science is not completely determined. So I leave it at that.
By the way, people also chiming in on your Uber question, Uber babysitter, what to do.
Yes.
People had mentioned, what about taxi? Maddie Mason, for example. I would
Same
get my
issue.
kids a taxi cab and do...
But only firms that I know. But again, you're dealing with a stranger essentially coming to pick up somebody, and then you're on the hook and you're responsible for getting that person home. So I don't know. It's a tough one. We never did it, by the way. We didn't do it. So we had a designated driver, so we got around it.
Let's see. Savannah Rose, John, if I may ask, is the purple for Good Friday?
Maybe subliminally. I didn't think about it consciously. But yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it. But sometimes things pop in, that you don't think about consciously. Yeah.
Let's see. Steve C, I've never watched Fox 10. I just love you guys. That's why I'm here. Oh, wow. So he
Wow.
just watches news now.
No kidding, Steve.
Well,
That's
thanks, Steve.
interesting. Okay. Now, Steve doesn't live here, though, right?
I'm not sure where Steve lives. Steve,
Steve's
let
a
us know where you
California
live.
guy, right?
We'll find out shortly. David Wallace, totally cool that anchors and reporters have liberty to add opinions to the news. And then Jessica saying, Steve, you should watch Fox 10. Great anchors, weathermen, and fun content. Well, I mean, the thing is,
Can we send a check to this person?
Well, they get to know you. I mean, a lot of times I'll have, for example, Dave Muncy here in the afternoon. I'll be like, hey, if you want to see more, you can watch the 5 p.m. newscast by going to fox10phoenix.com.
Right.
I don't know if they actually do that. I think some of them do.
Right.
But then they tune into our local newscast, even though they might not be here in Arizona.
Okay, so what you guys like about this is the interaction. That's what you love about this, right? And I'd like to hear John's opinion on the...
Well, John Pershilli is asking a question, too.
How would you describe your politics?
What about
Kerry? I'm going to leave that off the table, John. That's, I could tell you I'm a registered independent. That's a start. Because I really feel that way. I vote all over the place. I mean,
I feel like I'm like that too. I'm not loyal to anyone else.
I have
telling me
certain
what I should do.
precepts and things that I really believe in, but I vote all over the place. So
Ashley Gray, I wake up and fall asleep to Fox 10 News every day. Wow. So she falls
That's-
asleep to you and probably wakes up to like Rick and Andrea.
So Ashley, we are putting you to sleep at night. It's that riveting a program.
Joe Foley, I've never seen an American news show. I just found this place searching for Jody Arias News.
Wow. Okay, Joe. Well, this is not the BBC, that's for sure, right?
Oh, man.
Joe's in the UK, right?
Steve C. is moving to Tempe in 4 days. Oh,
Steve,
yeah.
welcome aboard. So, job at State Farm that just put its headquarters there, right? At Tempe? Or a big building there. I don't know if it's their headquarters.
We'll find
Probably
out.
not their headquarters. But,
Let's see. Ashley Gray, we love the interaction and we love SK and JM and all of our TV anchors sitting down with us in a more free setting. That's the thing.
There you go.
Imagine so many people who are here in Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have been watching you on the air here in Phoenix for what? You were 22 years now?
22 years, yeah.
And only in the last 4 or 5 months, maybe, are they really getting to know you in this, like...
Well,
I mean, they get to, you know what I mean?
I
in a
do
different
believe,
way.
I do believe they get to know you out there, and I keep pointing out there because that's where the set
studio
is. Did you say the stadium is?
Studio. The studio. Although
it does seem
the
like a stadium.
might
It's
be
very
over
large.
there. There's a stadium somewhere.
Right.
In downtown that way.
I think they do get to know you. I think they get a sense of what you're about. I tell kids, and I lecture at ASU quite a bit because I went to the Cronkite School. I went to Arizona State, so I lecture out there quite a bit. And I tell them that I think viewers are very perceptive. They get a sense of what you're about, and they figure it out. And you can't BS them. Over time, you're going to be exposed because you're going to be off script, or you're going to be with your coworker in a moment of just ad-libbing.
Right.
You is going to come out. You can't.
Absolutely.
And you shouldn't try to filter it too much.
But in that situation, you probably have a minute max. Then you have
Right.
to cut to commercial break.
And this is, how long have we been going now? 30 minutes?
Yeah, we've been
It's
on for
unbelievable.
29 minutes, and
Okay.
it doesn't even feel like we've been
No.
on for more than like 10. Let's see. I'd like to hear John's opinion on the panda story you ran this morning.
I do not know. Okay.
Do you really want to know? Did you hear about
What
the panda
happened?
story?
No, I want to. Do you have it?
Yeah, I do. Well, it's
Here we go again.
It's from James Rowe. It was a story that was trending on Facebook. It's a little inappropriate, but I had to share it with our viewers because it was so interesting. You saw the headline.
I saw the
This
headline.
is out in China.
Okay.
This Chinese panda, Lulu, becomes...
Shoots to fame for a record-breaking sex session at nearly 8 minutes long.
Right, so apparently pandas on average...
In the panda world?
In the panda
that's
world,
a marathon session?
A panda typically goes from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Now, it's,
That's like an 18-year-old.
this one,
Okay.
this panda is 7 minutes and 45 seconds, beating the average American male, which comes... average American male is about 7 minutes, just over 7 minutes. I read this whole article to them this morning, so I still remember it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this
Roll it.
panda.
Oh,
no, it's not anything I can roll, and I don't
Can
know
you
if I
show
have the
the
rights
picture?
to the photos. I mean, it's,
Yeah, you know, I think on this venue you probably can.
no. I could in theory show it like it were the internet. Why not? But
Show
I
it.
don't know if we have the rights to the photo.
Oh no, not this
Fine,
again.
I'll show it within the browser of the article.
Okay, so this is just like you're looking at the Daily Mail.
Okay, am I gonna get in trouble for showing
Just
panda
scroll up
sex?
and don't.
Quick.
We're gonna find out.
Oh God, just know that you encouraged this. I'm just going to know quickly.
Okay.
That was it. I don't want to
Hide the children.
There might be
Hide
kids.
your eyes.
There might be kids watching. So they want to know your take on this panda story.
Well, you know how this whole panda thing started, right? We keep doing in TV news, we keep doing the panda story over and over and over about how cute they are and cuddly they are. And I'm like, you know what? We have really not been honest about the pandas. The pandas are mean. The zookeepers will tell you this. Pandas will viciously attack people if given a chance. So we have caricatured them as a big stuffed animal. So every time we do a
Right.
panda story,
They're like
I'm always a
eating
contrarian out there
And you're like, pandas
saying,
are
"Oh, here we go again." Don't be fooled by the black makeup and the whole thing, right? The eye makeup. They
wanna
are
know
savage killers. Look at this guy's teeth. Show that.
okay.
Is that something you want to trifle with, honestly? You want to jump in an enclosure with that guy and have your face ripped off? So anyway, I'm just trying to give equal time to the people who are...
Just here are some fun panda facts. Okay. So apparently,
You have those?
Well, according to this article,
Okay.
female pandas are in heat once a year for between 2 and 4 days.
That's it.
when mating. Yeah, between 2 and 4
They have
days.
no interest in sex
once a
any-
year. Apparently, so maybe that's why the pandas are angry. Because they're
Yes,
not
the
releasing
males
their
are very
attention.
upset.
Mating season for pandas usually begins in March and lasts until May. So
Okay.
that's why they're vicious, because they're like,
Pent up.
yeah. I can't believe Jay. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Moving on. Brielle says,
Well,
A,
management hasn't come out of their offices yet, so I think we're still good to go.
maybe
All
they're
right.
to the panda sex topic. Okay. A, love this chat news format. B, executive producer here for 550.
550 KFYI, yes.
Yeah, at 4. We want to discuss this topic on our show. Do either one of you want to come on the show tonight in the 5 p.m. hour to discuss? Aren't you on the air?
I will be occupied at 5
Yeah,
o'clock.
he's on air at 5.
Otherwise, I would love to.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a really good
I've
idea.
done time at KFYI, by the way, filling in
cool.
for Barry Young, who's retired. So
And talk
yeah.
radio is your old stomping ground.
Yeah, I
guess.
kind of got pulled into it many times.
So
filling
there's
in a
your
lot.
answer. John Hook is available, just not at 5 because that's when he anchors.
Yes. I have another job.
And I say he would be the best.
We've got a very nice chat going on here with you guys. I wish I could answer all these. Man, alive.
Terry Moore, you and Carrie make a great team.
Okay, and I get asked about this a lot. How do you and Carrie really get along? Now they know. Anybody who's watched, they know. She's like my sister, right? Because I didn't have a sister. I had an older brother, and that's it. So she's a total knucklehead, and we have a ball. We really genuinely have a fun time out there.
Just Brandy tweeted, breaking news, John Hook says #pandas are ass hats.
Well, I wouldn't put it in that strong of terms, but
that's
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying.
reading. I'm just
you got to
reading
be
the
careful. You got to be careful, and we've made them out to be a stuffed animal, and they're not.
Jane Wilcox, this format is more fun because it's interactive. Get questions answered.
I wish we could answer them, quicker.
I think the Twitter interaction between viewers and Fox News folks is also great. David Wallace says it allows viewers to feel like they are part of the newscast as opposed to just a spectator.
I totally agree with that, and that has been the missing link. Jude LaCava, who's a dear friend of mine, Jude and I talk, and Jude's a talk radio guy, so we are simpatico on this whole thing, and we've always felt that what's lacking in television, and it's just inherent in what you do, is
Right.
this give and
Back
take,
and forth.
right?
Ashley,
Just like an 18-year-old. Yeah, I did say that.
people love the panda story.
Jane Wilcox is mortified that the average American male sexual experience lasts for 7 minutes. Or seconds, she says.
Let's see. What did we say that was so funny? Well, the problem is when you're also behind on the chat, you'll see people say like, "Oh my god, that was so funny," and you're like, "I have no idea what I just said."
Well, how
like,
far behind are we on this
the
chat?
thing is, you know what would be amazing if YouTube put a timestamp for everyone's
that
chat.
would be great.
Someone needs to tell the YouTube people that if they put a timestamp, we would at least know where we were, how far behind
and
we were.
who's responding at what point, right?
Right. Koalas are mean as well. Alfredo chiming in. Ashley Gray, they're mean because they only get laid 2 to 4 days a year. Patrick Renfro.
Man.
I said that
Are
earlier.
you allowed to show YouTube video on this?
As long as it doesn't have like music or something.
Music. No, there's no music.
What are you talking about?
Can you pull up on YouTube panda attack? And then we can show the real panda in action.
Let me get through all these comments
Okay.
that were at the end of the chat, because if we start that, we're going to be super behind the chat.
Okay.
Has Carrie Lake ever sat in with Samia? Yes, today
Yes.
more.
Yes.
We will have her more often. She was busy on a shoot today. Ever verse yourself on African lion?
African lion mating? No.
You have another job, John? Brielle says. Ashley Gray, sometimes the banter between John and Carrie makes me think they don't like each other. That's good to hear.
No, we're taking jabs at each other, basically on the air. We're teasing each other on the air, and that will continue. That will continue off the air during commercial breaks. We'll get into something and start going, talking about it in commercial breaks all the time.
Let's see. I think John and Troy are great together. When Lake was on vacation last week, John
We
and Troy
had
were
fun.
fun.
We had a good time.
I
That
think
was
Troy
fun.
gets mad at John, Zeno saying.
Well, everybody gets mad at me from time to time, so that's not
Most
unusual.
of the time. I remember during the whole Arius frenzy, there was one night where I felt John was going to smack Troy, Patrick.
No, not Troy. Maybe Jody. I got fed up with this woman. I really was at the end of my rope with Jody Arias.
Yeah.
I feel like we got played by her.
Well, that's what she does.
I know, she does. She has a way.
So what do you want me to look when pandas attack?
Yes.
Do you know which one it is?
Yes. Archive Classic. You'll get just a little taste of...
I'm
wait a
just gonna
minute.
keep...
Is this... No, that's an ad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even up yet.
Okay.
I haven't switched over until after that.
Stand by.
Okay. So let's see. Let's watch.
Yeah.
We all know pandas are cute, cuddly, snuggly, bamboo-eating little things, and everyone gets very excited when they have babies. But
Wait a minute.
beware. Pandas are
We might have been
wild
duped here.
animals. When they see red,
Go forward.
No, I think it's going to turn into
Oh, here
violence.
it goes. Yeah, this is it.
I mean, the title says Angry Panda Attacks and Steals Someone's Jacket. Wow. Oh my goodness.
He's going to grab that guy into the cage and tear him from limb to limb if he has half a chance. Okay, there's your cuddly
Oh my
panda for you.
gosh,
Yeah,
evil
there's
panda.
your cuddly panda for you.
That is an evil panda. Oh my goodness.
I love that video.
Oh my
All right,
gosh.
we'll call that Exhibit A.
Who knew? Who knew?
There you go.
My story-
I don't want to
my-
ruin your illusion about the cuddly panda,
my
but
story
don't be
from
fooled.
this morning ended up making its way to the afternoon. I gave them a lot of random stories this morning, but I feel like that's the one that stuck with them.
Of course.
Panda sex.
People love pandas. And, yeah,
Yeah.
you need to throw in sex and you have it. Totally. All right,
Put
can you...
Jody in a cage with a panda. Sherry.
There you go.
That is hilarious.
So these stream end, so we're actually
We're actually
trailing
We
behind.
are now. No, we're actually there now.
Oh, we're there now.
We're there. We are with the chatters.
That panda's just looking for 5 minutes alone.
But
True. True.
But for the executive producer,
Bad bear.
can we just say to the executive
Sure.
producer who is tuning in, Abrielle says, I
Yeah.
believe, if you want to promote news now, we would love
On
it.
KFYI?
Yeah,
Great.
we would love it. So just let us know.
And we
can-
just promoted you, so it's cross promotion.
Yeah. So
we
if
love
you
that.
want us to discuss our interactive news format,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the bosses will approve of that.
I think so. Yes.
That's the only reason I didn't agree to the 5 o'clock appearance. I was like, I think I have to ask them before I do anything.
Reminds me of what. Oh well.
Oh man.
Reminds me what I like to do to my ex-best friend.
No, ex-boyfriend.
Oh, boyfriend.
BF means boyfriend.
Sorry.
BFF is best friend typically.
BFF. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Come on, John Hook. Get with it.
I've got to. I have to think about all these.
What do your kids say? LOL. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Okay, now we're gonna play a game. How hip is John Hook?
Oh man,
How savvy?
don't even. You'll be disappointed.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it then.
Okay.
You know. Oh, the flowers. Okay, I'll acknowledge it because they've been bringing this up.
Oh,
a whole bunch.
you can see them.
I guess
on camera one.
I didn't know that they could see it because they don't see camera one. But I got 2 flower
Show 'em.
deliveries today from viewers. These
You're
are all
kidding.
from viewers. These are from them, and I was going to acknowledge them, but
Wow.
since they brought it up, this one is really pretty. This is the first one that was delivered, and I was so confused. I was like, "Who's sending me flowers?" And then it was right there. It said, "Happy birthday from Xena in the chat
It's your
room."
birthday?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And so then maybe within an hour later, maybe less than an hour, then these come in,
This is unbelievable.
which are balloons and flowers, and it says, "Happy birthday, Samia, from your friend Jonathan Blinn," who's one of our other viewers.
I've seen Jonathan on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. He's right there.
So
Exactly.
there you go. There's
Excellent.
the note. So thank you guys so much. It was really sweet. I was going to do it at the end, but since you guys brought it up, I was like, I'm not going
I
to keep
brought it
ignoring.
up. Well, you brought it
No, they
up,
brought
and
it
then I
up.
brought it
They
up.
brought it up a few times, and I kept
Okay.
scrolling past it. I was like, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So thank you guys so much. That's really sweet. That's really nice of you guys.
That is super cool.
And
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And you're how old?
Tomorrow, you can Google it.
Really?
You can find my age on the internet.
Okay. Let's pull that up. Oh.
That's what I'm
Wow.
telling you.
So this is a big one.
I guess so. That's what they say. But I'm just treating it like any other
That's
day.
unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's a big one,
Wow.
big birthday. So there's that.
That's cool.
But thank
That's
you guys.
cool.
That's really nice of you guys. It was really kind. John is a musician. He's hip.
Steve's mad I tried to out you on your age.
Everyone's like, and they know.
They're figuring it out.
Well, I mean, they're probably Googling. You can find out very
Really?
instantly.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
Someone put it on the internet, and I don't know how
Sure.
to take it off.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know who did it, but
It
it's out
doesn't
there.
matter. It's a frame of mind. It has
Oh
frame
yeah,
of reference. That's
I'm fine. Plus, everyone still, I think every job I have, you're like still think I'm like 23.
Yeah, my kids are starting to do the math on me, and they're like, "Wow, Daddy, you don't have long to live." That's sobering. I'll tell you. That's hilarious. Okay. So now you're writing back?
I'm writing back to Jeff
Okay.
because after we chat, after we wrap, I'm
You
going to be
keep
sitting
talking?
with Nicole Garcia.
Oh, great.
Because she is doing the story about the 911 calls from the Mesa shooting day.
Yes.
And so I clipped some of those calls. We're going to talk about it.
When are
talk
you
about,
doing that?
Whenever we're done with our
Okay,
conversation.
okay.
So,
Because I don't want to take all your time up here.
okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we're covering it nicely.
I think we're good, yeah.
Yeah, no, this has been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Oh man! So yesterday,
Yes.
Nicole's story was about real IDs,
Yes.
and I played it for the
Did you
News
talk
Now-
about your fake ID in college?
No. I played it for the News Now viewers. I played her package because I was playing
Sure.
a number of stories, and they recognized that the ID that they used was my ID.
No.
Yeah,
You're kidding.
'cause they told me that it wasn't going to be visible, that they were going to blur everything. So I was like, fine, here's my ID, use it. And then everyone realized it, and they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you
Oh,
know.
John writes, I have seen you in a Fox 10 ad with a bass guitar. How long have you played? By the way, I also play bass. Cool, John. You know, it was actually, I would have started playing bass in the late 70s because I was a guitar player first, but in the band I was in, which played all over Tempe and Phoenix and Scottsdale, and we played all over. We played all over. That was my job in college. That's how I got through college. I mean, I had help, but that was
funded your
spending
whole-
money, right?
Yeah, at ASU.
So we had too many guitar players in this band, and so we didn't need another guitar player. So for a summer, and I'm a Beatles freak to begin with, so I thought, okay, I got to figure out, because I'm a singer, so I've got to figure out how do I learn to play bass and sing, which is difficult. It's hard because you're playing a beat on the bass
right.
and singing.
It's multitasking.
It's like
Multitasking.
playing drums, and
Right.
not quite as bad as playing drums and singing. But so I locked myself away with Beatles records and figured out McCartney bass lines and learned how to sing and McCartney's like an idol of mine, and learned how to sing and play bass.
Oh, Paul McCartney was at the Hollywood Improv last night.
Really?
Yeah, because my friend, I have a lot of friends who are comedians because I was
Right.
really in that world, and they posted on Facebook today, just performed for Paul McCartney, and I was
Oh,
like,
my
oh,
God.
I have to show you this
Wow.
photo. I definitely went and liked it, 'cause it's like, I mean, as a performer, it's like, then you're freaking,
Wow.
it's like crazy, right?
That is pretty cool.
And he got 670 likes on that.
That is
I mean,
cool.
it's very likable.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And McCartney, I think,
Imagine if you did the news for Paul McCartney. I mean, I
well,
don't know. Maybe.
let me tell you.
Okay.
You know, he lived in Tucson.
I
He
didn't
spent
know
a
that.
lot of time in Tucson, and I worked down there.
Oh, so you've definitely done the news for Paul
I
McCartney.
think he probably during that period where there weren't so many channels. I'm sure he saw us. I'm sure.
So you performed for Paul McCartney.
Well, I'm glad I didn't know it. I'll tell you that. I would have been freaked out. And I never think about that because if you thought about who's actually watching, you'd probably lose your mind.
That is.
But at any rate, that's
Joe Foley. They just sold Paul McCartney's first house he lived in about a month or two
yeah,
ago.
right. Where he grew up. Father was a musician, and
One of our token Brits, giving us the inside scoop. Radar Love. Hey John, do you ever have aspirations of doing national news?
not anymore. Not anymore. There was a time, but not now.
You like your Phoenix lifestyle?
I do. And raising a family, there's no better way.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you go to network, you're sacrificing a lot of your personal life.
You do.
To do
You
that.
give up a lot of your life
And
to do
anytime
that.
there's a breaking news story, it doesn't matter if you have like a wedding obligation or anything. You have to get up and go to that.
Sure, and that's
place.
part of the job. That's
Yeah.
fine. The thing I love about this job is if I do still want to do significant stories, I can do them.
Yeah.
Covering political conventions, interviewing the president, I
You
can
get
still
John
do
McCain
that
over
stuff.
here.
Yeah, you know, I spent a lot of the time on the bus with McCain and covering McCain during both presidential campaigns, and really from when he started, which was 90 or 82, he
Right.
started. So
I want to get McCain on news now. It's one of my goals.
you'll get him on. I'm
I'd
sure
like
he'll
to.
do it. I'm sure he'll do it. I'm trying to get him in right now to do my Sunday show, and
Oh, there you
he's been
go.
on many times.
And
so.
that you usually tape that at 2:15, right after.
I'll
he
bring
could
him in.
join us.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll do it.
All right.
He'll do it.
Oh, okay.
6-string bass. I had to play a 6-string bass at my wedding because the band that was at our wedding had a 6-string bass, and I have a Rickenbacker and a Fender precision bass. Well, actually now a jazz bass. They're all 4-strings, so to get on a 6-string was a little weird. I figured it out, but yeah, it's really the same. It's just tuned. You have 2 more strings tuned like the first 2, so you can stay in the pocket, as they say, easier. You can move your hand easier. You have to.
When are you? You should bring it in. Do it for news now.
Well, a bass solo is not very interesting.
Oh, I don't know. It could still be visually interesting.
Playing guitar would be fun, but
Just bring in something.
Okay.
We'll have a News Now talent show.
So fun, so
Oh
fun.
man.
Okay,
Steve
Joe
C.
Foley. I think I told this story before. I have not been in Liverpool. I'm going to do it. I need to do it. I really want to get to EMI recording studios in London, where Abbey Road is. I want to get there because sometimes they
Why
do
don't
tours
you
there.
do a story out there?
I'd love to do that. I'd love to
Make
do
it
that.
happen.
That's a
Make it
place I
happen.
want to see. But I have been in London, and I told the story where I took the picture. You pulled it up,
Yeah.
remember? In Piccadilly Circus, where EMI Records is, where the
Oh
Beatles
yeah,
are
we did show it
looking
here
over
on
the
News Now.
railing on their first album. So yeah, I went there when I was in London. It's fun. Super fun.
John, Carrie, Troy, Jude, Mark, and Andrew need to head to England to recreate the Beatles' famous
The
image.
walk across Abbey Road, right?
It's interesting. I wonder how Alfredo decided which talent was going to get to go, which ones weren't.
He did.
He
There's
was like
definitely
John, Carrie, Troy, Jude, Mark, and Andrew. So Steve is out.
Steve's
Mia's
out.
out.
Yeah. Ron Hoon's out.
Ron Hoon doesn't
Rick
get anything.
D'Amico's
Rick
out.
doesn't get. No one. You know, a lot
Wow.
of people. Andrea doesn't get to go.
Wow.
Kristen doesn't get to go.
That's
Nicole
a
doesn't
harsh.
get to go.
I got to get Nicole up here because she's got to get some work done.
Okay.
Are
Yeah,
you
we
ready?
need to get Nicole up here.
You guys are having so much fun.
Oh, we are. We always have fun. But to you guys, thank you, and that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for hanging out.
I'll see you.
We'll
We'll
see
do it
you
again
on
next week.
Sounds
Happy
good.
birthday.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Bye.
And next up, we have Nicole Garcia, Fox 10's very own.
It's always so hard to follow up John Hook.
No.
I'm not worthy.
Yes, you are. You have a very interesting story today.
Yeah, it's not as exciting or happy, but it is certainly.
Well, this story, when we
Interesting,
covered
yes.
it, I mean, first of all, News Now was on top of this story. in all of Fox
'Cause
10,
you
everyone
were-
was
you
like
were
interactive.
like one of the only people that were on
Right,
the
and
whole
so
time
this
as
was,
this was
and
unfolding.
also this turned into this national, international story. So it's still a bit relevant. It is the story about the 911 calls from that Mesa
Yes.
shooting day.
And there are a lot of them.
Yeah, I know.
There's about 20 911 calls that I've listened to. I mean, they're all kind of back to back. It took me a good hour and a half to listen to
Yeah.
everything. And it's terrifying even just hearing it, because in these people's voices,
Yeah.
you can hear just how scared and uncertain and just horrified they are at what they're seeing.
Right.
And the scary part is it's like nearly 20 phone calls, so at least 20 different people called 911. There's 3 different locations.
Right.
And it's, the mood is the same in all of these calls. It's somebody
Panic.
was shot and the gunman, is
Yeah.
loose, and, I don't know where he is. He could be around the corner.
Right.
People just terrified. Like, you could just hear it in their voices.
What
It
was
giving me chills.
Can you give me I mean, I clipped some of the sound from one of the callers who I think was talking about the maintenance man who was shot. But what else did you hear? I wasn't able to.
I mean, it goes from the people at the motel,
Right.
one of the guests that was staying next to the room where 2 people were shot.
right, and that's the only shooting where the victim
Where somebody
died.
passed away, and all there were 6 people in all. So we hear from that, and then we hear from people who were carjacked or almost carjacked by this guy. We hear from people at the Bistro restaurant, because he does the shooting at the
Right.
motel, and he drives off, carjacks somebody,
Right.
goes to this restaurant, shoots, fires off shots there. He shoots an employee there and steals a car there. So we hear it's from several people there, saying, hey, we were just at this restaurant, and this guy comes in, he's got all these tattoos, he's bald, and he starts shooting. And then that was the place, too, where the employee got shot, and he took a selfie of
Yeah,
himself.
the selfie one.
So obviously he wasn't shot.
He took a
Yes.
snapshot, like just got shot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so obviously he wasn't shot too bad. Still,
Right.
nonetheless, he was shot. So after that, so we've got several calls from that area. Then he goes and he drives the stolen car and tries to go and hide in these apartment complexes. And you hear these 911 calls from people saying, some guy just banged on my door, went into my apartment. One woman's like, she just shot my boyfriend.
Oh my
and there's
gosh.
blood everywhere. And you hear people saying, hey, there's this guy, banging on my window and jumping over. It's just terrifying to
Wow.
hear. And at the very last call was a woman who, she was practically crying because, this is all happening over a several hour span. So at one point, the police were knocking on the doors of these people who live in this apartment complex saying,
Right.
hey, don't open your doors, stay indoors. So this woman calls 911 and she's crying because somebody is banging on her door and she knows, it's one thing if you don't know what's going on, but
Right.
there's a gunman on the loose and somebody's banging
Right.
on your door. So she's practically crying, begging them.
yeah,
begging
because
for
you
them
don't
to
want to
send
be the
police
next
there.
victim.
Yeah, you
It's
don't know.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's just scary. It just chills down my spine listening to all these
Right.
people and thinking, my gosh, what if I were in that situation? I probably would have been just as
That was a crazy day.
horrified at what I would be seeing or hearing.
Right, let's listen to some of this call that I clipped. Alright. I'm going to play some of this.
Yeah, he's threatening with a gun. Okay. I see the officer right now. I'm sorry. You want me to talk to the officer?
Okay, and the guy, was he black, white, Hispanic, or Native American?
White guy. Hey, you remember
How old is
he? No. I don't know. He said, he went that way, you said, right? White guy with a bald head and a t-shirt.
Do you see
In
officers
Velita.
there?
What? In the Velita. Yep.
Okay, do you see
I got
officers there?
Yeah, they're here now.
Okay, can you talk with the officers?
Yeah, I just told him. So he's going to run. One officer's going over there now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let you go if you're with the officers.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, he's on foot. White t-shirt, jeans, short, bald-headed guy.
Okay, sir, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so did you witness it, or was it the girl who witnessed it?
No, the girl ran up to me.
Okay, I go ahead and let you go there if you're with the officers.
All right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, one emergency.
Don Jesus.
Hello. Hi, yeah, we just had shots fired. Sounds like.
Okay, where are you?
It's 1840 West Emelita Avenue. I don't know what apartment's in the back parking lot behind Building I.
Is that Marcos?
Did you see it happen?
Oh my, no, my maintenance guy did. He speaks Spanish. Do you have a Spanish speaker?
I can get a language line on.
Un momento.
Hang on. It shows that 901 South stops and they had a shooting. And who got shot?
Our maintenance man, Marcus.
Okay. Is anyone with him?
I'm not sure if anybody was there in the unit with him at the time.
No, I mean right now, is someone with him?
Yes, the officers are here.
He with the victim. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to let you go, Jason. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This way, guys!
911 emergency.
Shots fired, Villetta Apartments. Shots fired, Villetta Apartments.
What's the address?
1840 West Emelita Drive, just off Dobson Road. My employee was shot. There were already cops on property, but my shots are fired.
Okay. Are you with the employee?
Yes. He needs help. He needs help badly.
Okay. We've got help on the way. Stay on the phone. All right. And do you know what unit number it was?
No, we're in the back corner by the maintenance shop.
What apartment number?
I have no idea.
No.
If you come in the main entrance and then make a right down the main path, come all the way to the back. I'm in your apartment. I'm in your apartment 1073.
1073? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Where is the apartment, or where is the person that was shot?
He's on the floor. Keep that wrapped around there tight, Marcus. Try and keep it above your heart.
Okay.
Try and keep it above your heart. Please.
Is it a male or female?
Male. 25 years old. 25 years old.
I needed to come up here. I got shot.
To help.
I'm at work.
All right, he is conscious and breathing?
He's conscious. He's on the phone right now.
All right, and you're right now outside of 2105. I'm sorry, outside.
No, I'm at the maintenance shop, which is just behind 1073.
1073? Okay.
Yes. Please come fit. I had no idea. I was in the shop and I heard, but I thought he was kidding around. I thought he was just screaming, kidding around, because we joke around a lot. Are the cops here?
They are on.
Are the cops here?
They are pulling up. Let me get medical for you.
You threatened her?
Yeah,
So that was just a fraction of, I
Yeah.
mean, it was 19 different calls.
Yeah, and you could just hear it in their voices,
Right.
how scared and how the urgency
I know.
and just the fear, especially with that last phone call we were listening to. The friend of the maintenance man who was shot while he was just working at an apartment complex, you know. And before that, he was saying, I thought he was joking because they're good friends and they always joke around. So then he hears his friend screaming in pain and realizes this is real.
Right.
You know, and you don't hear that entire conversation, but he starts freaking out, you know, as you would if, you know, saw your buddy bleeding there.
And also the guy's still out there, so you don't know if he's going to come back, shoot you next. It's like... I think that's what all the fear was that day. Is that this guy's on the loose.
Like, is he going to come back and shoot some more? You know, where can I?
Because he was just shooting randomly.
Yeah, he was shooting, you know, at people because he wanted to steal cars.
Right.
He wanted to get away from police, and we still really don't know. Police really haven't said what his motive was in the first place. Why he, you know, shot those two people in the motel room and went on this rampage. But obviously the good thing is he is in custody. It took several hours, but this guy is in custody. And hopefully he'll be behind bars for a very long time. He's facing nearly 36, more than 30 felonies in this case, obviously, including murder.
He's
and
not getting off.
Kidnapping.
We all watched it happen.
And he's got an extensive criminal history, too. So, yeah, just to hear those emotions in the voices, you know, those people on the 911 calls, and you wonder too what these operators, you know, they're getting all this flood of calls from the same area, you know, what they go through as well, you know. You know, some people are saying some of these operators, I mean, their manners, I mean, they thought it was maybe sometimes rude, but, you know, when you're trying to calm somebody down, I'm only assuming they're trying to calm somebody down and trying to get the facts. Okay, where do we send police? Where do we send the ambulance?
Right, Rachel even saying they have to be abrupt to get the info needed ASAP.
Yeah,
you know?
So, you know, and they want to make sure, you know, they're not wasting resources and sending them to the wrong places. So,
And even Ashley Gray chiming in, I'm sure call volume was very high this day, so they were probably just trying to clear the calls of people who had just heard shots as well.
And from what I was listening to, I mean, they had a protocol. First off, they want to know where you are. They want to know where to send help.
Right.
And they want to know, some of the first questions they ask, are weapons involved? They want to know what they're sending crews into, basically.
Right.
So, I mean, you hear a lot of frantic people, and the adrenaline's pumping, and some people don't make sense.
Sure.
So I'm sure these 911 operators, have to be the voice of calm and just say, hey, calm down.
Right.
Tell me where to send help. So
absolutely. I mean, Alfredo has an interesting point. I think it's in the training. I've heard 911 calls where the operator talks over the person to take control of the situation and get all the vital info before they move on. So, Ashley Gray saying that's what they're taught to do, take control over the situation.
That was definitely the trend, and sometimes they're interrupting these people and trying to clarify. I mean, they may come off as sounding rude, but I think obviously their intent is to clarify where to send help and what exactly is going on in the situation. So I mean, I still get chills just kind of listening to it all over and over again. It's terrifying.
Wow. I don't think they're rude as much as they get your attention and calm you down enough to get you to listen and speak clearly. Ashley Gray chiming in.
Yeah, and it's got to be difficult too to be on that other end because it's. I mean, I could only imagine, somebody's on the other line and you're thinking somebody's life could be on the line. So, you want to get the information right the first time.
Right.
To be able to help people out and hopefully save a life if that was the case.
Savannah Rose saying, I am the dispatcher. What?
Oh, wow. I mean, there were several, obviously, operators and dispatchers probably involved. And, I wonder, too, and this could be another story idea, is talking to the dispatchers and the operators in this case, about that day, how were they affected?
Right,
because they were kind of in the midst of all this, too. I mean, maybe not physically there, but, listening to all this going on and hoping, the actions that they take, will help save a life or prevent another death.
Wow.
So scary stuff. A lot of scary stuff.
Yeah.
Again, thankfully, he's behind bars.
Yep.
And obviously, our condolences to the people who were hurt and who passed away in this. So.
Well, thanks for that update. So you have your story airing at
5:30.
5:30, and in that one, you'll probably have the audio of the girlfriend.
Yeah, we'll have. I mean,
shot.
like I said, there were
many calls.
There's so many calls. So I tried to pick some of the. I don't want to say the best, because they're not best, but the most emotional, most frantic calls, just so we can give people an idea of really what was going on, and just the sheer number, 19
calls.
911 calls, kind of gives you an idea of how crazy and chaotic this situation was.
Right. So if you guys want to watch Nicole's story, remember you can tune in to the Fox 10 News at 5:30 by just turning on Channel 10 if you're local. And if you're not local, go to fox10phoenix.com where it is streaming live on our website.
Always.
So make sure...
Happy birthday. I was wondering what all these balloons and flowers were. I was like, do I need to bring an offering to
some?
They were from
the viewers.
Oh, that is so sweet.
really nice of them. Yeah.
You guys are so sweet out there.
It was really nice of them. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.
Your birthday weekend.
Thanks.
And thanks for letting me be here. Thanks
of course.
For watching.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
And you'll be tuning in at 5:30.
Yeah. So I'll see you guys at 5:30.
Thank you. All right, guys. In just a couple of minutes, we will be joined by the new Fox 10 reporter, Courtney Griffin. I believe she is just a minute or two away. While I prepare for Courtney's arrival, I want to play for you this story. I believe it's out of the University of Maryland, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on this, but it has to do with a fraternity and a racist email. This is, let me just pull this story up right now. Get it ready. I'm going to play this, and hopefully when this story is done in about a minute and a half, Courtney Griffin will be sitting right here, right next to me. So, without further ado, here is this story.
A racist, sexist, and vulgar email sent by a University of Maryland fraternity member in 2014 is causing feverish discussion among UMD students today.
To deal with, the racist comments and the sexist comments and the rape culture that was in that email.
If you want to construct a diversity board, where's the diversity in thought?
In a town hall meeting, students fired off questions, even accusations at President Lowe because they feel there were no consequences to the student's inappropriate email that went viral a few weeks ago.
Horrific and despicable as they are, those words are protected by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution.
I can understand how using freedom of speech to defend that the racist comments. But when he says F consent, that's intent to harm. That's an imminent threat to all the women on campus.
President Lowe says a police investigation concluded it was not an imminent threat and there was no sexual violence as a result.
How is our safety and our personal and mental health not a priority over a social organization?
You could not find somebody who is more committed to addressing the issue of sexual assault.
Welcome, Courtney Griffin, to your first official News Now appearance. The first one was a cool appearance, but it was just to get to know Courtney appearance. This one is actually, I guess, an official appearance because you were assigned your first story for Fox 10 today, right?
I did, yeah.
How was it?
Robotics competition, very cool.
I actually have some video from the competition. I'm going to roll that while we chat about this story.
Yeah.
So this is some of the video that they're seeing right now. So this is a robotics competition. I played some of the morning show clip for them this morning so they got an idea of this. So it's over 600 people participating in this thing?
Over 600 students, 34 teams all across Arizona. We got a team from Mexico and Grand Junction, Colorado, believe that or not.
Mexico, like another country.
Oh, yeah.
This became an international competition.
Yeah, it did. I think even some out in California. But they are there competing. It took them 6 weeks to build a robot, and teams are made up, I think, of like 15 to 20 people, and they were just given some instruction. My main thing was where do you start when you're building a robot?
Yeah, like how do you even know how to build a robot? And I didn't even know all these high schools had robotics teams.
Exactly, I didn't either. So they have robotics clubs, or they were just getting help outside through professionals who knew how to do it. But a lot of money, about $4,000 to start and get all the equipment and cables and everything else that they use.
Wow.
Aluminum, he said. They have to keep it 120 pounds or less. And then they were told a game in January. And so the main game was, I don't know if we can see it now, but the recyclables. It was a recyclable rush. And so it was bins that the robots had to pick up and move around.
Oh, wow.
And put a trash can on top of that. And then, yeah, there we go. I don't know if you can kind of see. There's pool noodles too, and so they had to it was basically like litter, and they had to pick it up and put it away and into the trash bin and then stack it.
Oh.
And they only had 2 minutes to do all of it, but they got to try 13 different times.
Wow,
See
like
the
these bins.
Yeah.
Oh,
so very interesting. It was so fun to watch. Because that's something that I'm just not familiar with. So yeah, to see those robots like that, pretty cool.
Well, I actually also clipped some of your interview. I know you interviewed one of the, I think he was part of it, or maybe he was in charge. He was an older guy.
Okay, yeah, he was a team coach
for
Globe High School.
Yeah. Got it.
And he was just saying how it's very competitive. There he is, costs a lot of money. This is their second year doing it, so they're fairly new, and a lot of them had issues today. The robots kind of went down, so they had to go back in their little pit area, kind of like a car, they're saying, and work on the robots and everything like that. So a lot of fun, a lot of people cheering on that were there. It's still going on tonight until 6 o'clock.
So people can go and watch.
Yeah, Grand Canyon University.
Is it?
I believe it's free to get in. Yeah, and you can go until tonight at 6 and then again tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Finals are tomorrow.
Oh, the pressure's on. Let's listen to what this coach had to say.
The first thing that we do, we go through the rule book to find out what it is that the game is and how many points you can get from doing each thing that they ask you to do. So there's some things that we feel human players can do, so then we don't focus on putting that into our robot. We know that this is a game where we have to stack a lot of totes, we have to stack recycle containers on top of those things, so we're working on being able to lift and put totes in a stack and move them onto the scoring platform.
And it's really a team effort?
It is a team effort. There are points that can be scored on the opposing alliance with us, and we work at trying to get those taken care of. There's pre-programming points that we can get If all of our robots do the same thing at the first 15 seconds, we can get points that way. And then after that's over, it's just try to stack more than the opponent does.
Okay, so you're a teacher, you lead this. Why do you think it's important to educate all this stuff like this?
This is huge. STEM, that's the new buzzword all over the country. It's science, technology, engineering, and math. Robotics is all four of those things. So this program was started in 1987. They've been doing it now for many, many years. They're trying to get it into every high school that they can in the country. They're close to 6,000 teams right now. In the next year and a half, they'll have a total of 6,000 teams worldwide. For our kids, it gives them everything that they need to go into engineering as a career, everything that they'll need to go into the military, into the future, any technical field, mathematics, all of it. They can be found here doing FIRST robotics.
He sold it very well. Basically, if you want your children to be successful, make sure they join the robotics team. I think is what I took away.
Yeah, if you're into science, math, technology, engineering, that is all geared toward that.
Yeah.
Something complete opposite of what I like, what I'm interested in, because I'm not very good at math, but genius kids, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, to create a robot.
That's hard.
To do something, and every year it's different.
And they're in high school.
I know.
It is
Can
crazy.
you imagine? It reminds me of some of those movies, those robotic movies, or like the computers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What movie? I can't think of any at the top
Well,
of my
there's
head.
the movie that was based on a true story that was shot out here based on a team out here in Phoenix, the Carl Hayden High School. The movie, it was based on the robotics team that they beat MIT, and it was like this crazy story.
Ooh, okay.
And it was turned into a movie. I can't think of
there's
it
a
off
lot
the
of
top of my
different
head right now.
movies,
It was
yeah.
just very recently, too, that they had the movie premiere. Linda covered it. I'm sure one of the viewers are going to type it in.
Yeah.
They're so good at, reminding me of things I forgot about.
I know, and there's that one robot movie that just came out, like Casper or Cuddy, or you know what is it?
Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway, so very, very cool atmosphere. The kids were really nice, really into it. The coaches.
Yeah. And so
it's just very fast because they have to go back, fix whatever happened because not all the robots are working properly all the time. You know, there's malfunctions.
Right.
And then they go back out, they compete, they have 2 minutes, and they go back and do it again 13 times. And then whoever has the most points, like you heard, they make it to the finals. So 24 teams make it to finals tomorrow, and then they find out 3 teams make it to nationals.
Where's nationals?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
And not only that, but they also have $20 million worth of college scholarship money
That's
that
amazing.
they can apply for.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's a really good program.
Wow. So real quick, for those of you who didn't tune in on Monday afternoon, don't know Courtney. Courtney is our new reporter for the morning show.
Yes.
Do you officially start on the morning show on Monday?
I do. They
So you
told me
have
to
to
bring
wake up-
workout clothes. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm excited. Yeah. I'm
So what time are you going to have to wake up from here on out?
3:30.
So you have to be here at 3:30, or you have to wake up then?
Well, I think I have to be here at 3:30.
Okay, so you're only waking
I'm
up
waking
by
up, pretty early, but I'm living close. That's a plus. So I
That's
won't have
very
too much
important.
of a drive, so I can sleep in a little bit longer because every minute counts. In
It
the morning.
does.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah. I've done the morning position before, and
Yeah.
it's tough once you originally first wake up. Then after that, you're up. You don't think about it, and then you get off early. So.
Well, the morning, my first job out of college was it was morning show.
Yeah.
And it was fun because you always have such a variety with stories. Sometimes
true.
it's hard news,
Breaking,
sometimes it's
light.
light, sometimes it's live interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But-
and I'm also working the weekends, so that'll be fun because I can cover, the runs and stuff that go
Right.
on, different fundraisers.
Are
I
you a
love
runner?
That. I am. I slowly am stopping running and going more toward yoga, but I do like to run at least once a week, I would say. Do you run? Yeah.
No, I can't run. I'm an elliptical machine user.
Okay, that's good too.
I can walk.
It's easier on your joints.
I just couldn't. Well, I just never was able to run. I don't know why. I think it was because I was fat in junior high.
Oh,
And I
whatever.
I'm
believe
serious.
it.
I was like 30 pounds more than I am now. And
Okay, so still not
no, but I'm saying I couldn't I wasn't a runner, so I never developed the ability to run. And now I'm I see all these people who do marathons, and I just
Marathon people? I don't know. Triathlon, marathon, half marathon even. I don't know. The most I've ever done is, I think, 10 miles, and that was on a treadmill.
that's
so it's
a
little
really-
bit different.
Yeah, but it's still impressive.
Yeah, I
Still
guess so.
impressive.
I mean, slowly. It was more of a power walk.
Well, on Monday, if you happen to be in studio or, well, in the newsroom and not out in the field, stop by again on the morning. Because you'll be able to stop by now on News Now in the mornings.
Definitely, yeah. Anytime.
Because
you start, what, 8?
You mean we start News Now?
Yeah.
We start News Now at about 9:50, 9:55. Unless there's breaking
Okay.
news, then we start earlier.
Okay. So I can come on probably around 11 or so.
Yeah, whenever. Just let me know.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
I will.
Well, Courtney, thanks. When does your robotics piece air?
5:20ish.
5:20ish.
So we have about an hour. Yeah.
So as I mentioned to you guys before, for local viewers, you can turn on the TV, flip to channel 10. And for those of you in other parts of the country and the world, just go to fox10phoenix.com. All of our broadcasts are streamed live there every day. So I think next we have Tech Talk with Jeff now, because I wanted to strategically go from robotics into a techie subject. Jeff, I'm going to message Jeff. Come here. You're free to go whenever you'd like.
I don't want to go.
You can hang
Are we
out.
still
Why don't you
on?
just keep... Yeah, we're on continuously.
Okay, so
you can hang out until Jeff comes and takes your seat.
Yeah, because I think I'm good to go now for the next hour. So yeah. So what do you
Well,
think
you
about the
wanna
robots?
You know, how about this? If you're free now for the next hour, once I'm wrapped up with like the schedule, would you want to come back and just hang out?
I will.
Okay.
I'll come back.
Yeah, let's do
so
that.
I'll make room for Jeff, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
I have just random stories that are good talkers. It'd be cool to have you up here.
Yes, okay.
We're gonna
I'll
get
be
more
back.
Courtney in just a little bit, guys. But first, Jeff Moriarty joining us on News Now for Tech Talk with Jeff. Strategically doing Tech Talk right after the robotic story because it's the natural transition. I'm gonna get taller now. I made my seat
shrink.
No, I made my seat lower to be, just the right level. Oh wow, we're
After. We are giants.
okay. So, Moriarty.
What would you like to talk about in the world?
There's a lot of things to talk about. We have a lot of things on the agenda. We can start with the tech element of our conversation. So, we've been talking a lot about Uber.
Yes.
Here in the newsroom on the news. In fact, even John Hook's discussion about can you send the 14-year-old babysitter in an Uber. But there may be viewers in different parts of the country, different parts of the world that don't know what Uber is, what the concept behind it is. So I wanted you to come on here today to discuss things like Uber, like Airbnb, basically how technology has created this whole new industry.
And to me, it's fascinating. And I'm gonna nerd out here pretty bad. So if I get too nerdy, everybody in the chat room will let me know.
That's on a panda, right? It's not a panda.
It's a bear, sunglasses, my Friday shirt.
I'm gonna take our lower third off so people can see your shirt real quick.
Uh-oh. And here I was hoping to slouch down. I didn't get a chance to put on I have an emergency shirt.
It's casual Fridays. You're good.
Yes. All right. Yeah, it is Friday. But I do have an emergency dress shirt in my desk in case I have to do an on-air appearance. And I've used it sometimes here. I'll suit up, so I come in here and I look a little bit more professional. But it's casual Friday, end of the day, tech talk, and I am rocking the rainbow bear. So, anyway.
They just think it's fitting that you're wearing a bear shirt given our panda sex discussion of the morning and afternoon.
Yes, I was going to avoid the panda sex discussion, but...
It's okay. They already asked John Hook about it. We don't need to discuss it anymore.
Okay. So, Uber is part of what is known in general as the sharing economy. And the way Uber works specifically, I'll start there and I'll kind of back up, is it's a service that was originally started where people, drivers who have like an SUV or a really nice limo type car, can use their downtime to drive for this company Uber. And there's an app that both the drivers and the passengers use.
Can I pull it up?
Pull it up while I'm
It's the one with the U.
Uber. So
right now, right now UberX is 20% cheaper here in. Wow. Now UberX is 35% less than a taxi and the cheapest ride in Phoenix. So they're doing a special Phoenix summer promotion where they've dropped the rates.
Nice. So
Sorry.
Well,
I use it a lot. I use it to go to the airport all the time.
I'm an unabashed fan as well. Alfredo asks, what's my take on the app Ingress? I'm going to snooze on that one and other virtual reality apps. Great topic. Not going to get into that one right now. So, Uber. You can open up your app. It sees exactly where you are. And I say, I want a car. Boop. And it sends a message out to Uber drivers who are waiting with their apps going, oh, look, Samia needs a ride. She's been out partying for her birthday and she needs a ride home. I will go and pick her up. She's only a mile from me.
Only if Jeff is my driver.
Yes. So then she gets an alert on her phone. I pull up in the car and I basically treat it as sort of a taxi. When I drop her off wherever she's going,
What's Uber Select?
it automatically charges her account. There's no extra tip you have to do. You just basically get out of the car and you're done.
They don't even ask you to tip.
Yeah.
There's no even like tip pressure.
Yeah.
Like social norm pressure.
Right. Now you do get to rate your driver, which is how they try to weed out bad drivers,
Right.
ones with poor customer service. And the drivers rate you. So
If you're a
did you know
bad
that?
customer.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're a bad customer, they can give you.
Can I find out what I'm rated, or no? Is it a secret? Only Uber knows.
You could for a while. There was when it came out that the drivers were rating customers, there was a big ooh. Everybody got all excited about it. And there was a back doorway you could peek, but Uber closed that. So now there's no way to know. But sometimes if you ask your driver, they'll show you because it shows up on their things. Oh, what's my rating?
I should totally ask. I'm going to.
Totally do it. Socially engineer it. So that's the bulk of it. And it really worked out well because a lot of these drivers have these cars that they drive for some, limo service or whatever. And they have a lot of downtime.
Right. So
I talked to one driver. I chat up everybody, but especially my Uber drivers, how they get into it. And a lot of them will, as one guy said, he goes to a McDonald's and he uses their free Wi-Fi and he sits in the McDonald's parking lot and he watches his Netflix on his iPhone. And then when a request comes up, boop, he grabs it and goes and picks up the ride. And then when he has to go pick up whoever his main fare is for that day, he just checks out of Uber and goes and takes care of that person.
That's amazing. That's very clever.
Yeah. So all of this downtime is now being used. And it's really a fantastic idea. This idea of you're finding this unused resource and filling it in and putting it to work, but also letting people take their own resources, their car, and capitalize on it and make money off it.
Right, because initially it was just, when Uber first came out, it was just professional drivers, right? And then things like Lyft came out, then they came out like Uber X, where basically someone like Jeff or me, we could sign up, be drivers, and then just be your personal driver in whatever car we have. But they have requisites that your car needs to meet in order to be approved. I think it has to be like a 2005 or newer. It has to be a 4-door, things like that.
Yeah, they all have their own version of the requirements. I know Uber was very strict up front. The interviews that they had to do very rigorous, and now they've expanded it so there's less expensive tiers.
Right, and I think it's important though because I've heard you've heard those horror stories where these companies don't do background checks. Next thing you know, Uber driver raped customer, or like there's been some horror stories, or like
Well, I look at it this way. I used to travel a lot at a previous job that I had, and I've been in a lot of taxi cabs. That's scary. I've had some good taxi cab experiences, but by and large, it's the lottery, and your odds of winning aren't that great. I've had some stinky, sticky, nasty, scary. I'm just going to throw all my clothes away and take a hot shower and boil myself when I get home because I feel like I've caught a disease. Cab rides. So, I think of all the stories that you hear about Uber, and there's some scary ones, but, compared to a normal cab, I think it's still better. You've got, I think, a better review system for it.
Well, and it's also fun to I feel like I have really good conversations with my Uber drivers versus and Lyft drivers versus I don't think I have many conversations with my cab drivers. Sometimes I do, but more often than not, you can, learn a lot from your local Uber or Lyft driver.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more personal. It's a lot better experience.
And they have Uber's worldwide now. It's not just
Yes.
a thing domestically. I know people who are using Uber in like India, like the other side of the world.
But what's been interesting is, well, all of this is interesting to me, but how disruptive it's been to cab companies and how many people are fighting them.
A lot of people upset.
Cabs, those guys sat around and they were the only game in town, and they had no reason, this is Jeff's opinion here, to really improve.
Right, they had no reason to be nice because there was no competition. People needed cabs, and that was that.
The taxis had, you call a taxi and they're going to be there sometime between 3:30 and 5 to pick you up, and they could be late, and it was just this big old mess. Why didn't they have an app like Uber 5 years ago?
I know.
They absolutely could have.
Well, and also the price. I mean, here's an example. One day I had just flown back from, I don't know, probably Fresno or LA. I was at Sky Harbor, and I took a cab to get back to work here. And also on top of this, you have to tip the cab.
Yes.
So collectively, my cab ride, I think, was about $33. Now, to take an Uber, same exact drive, I want to say it was about $11. And you're not forced to tip. That's insane. It was a third of the price, and it was and much more pleasant.
Yeah, and they streamlined it so much, and then the taxi cab system is trying to figure out, they panicked, and their first, reaction is to sue and to file legislation and to try to get them banned in certain companies. There's places where Uber's illegal. Portland, for example, and to be fair, Uber sometimes acts like a bit of a jerk, in my humble opinion, about this stuff. So yeah, Jeff's opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of Jeff's opinion if you get me going. So Portland said, hey, Uber can't operate within Portland. So they said, okay. So they set up shop in every suburb around Portland.
That's hilarious.
They just happened to be driving through Portland all the time. And Portland said, yeah, very funny, no. So
and then what happened?
They started pulling over. I think they passed some legislation that they couldn't actually operate or pass through the town because they were an unlicensed cab or whatever. So then Uber backed off, and now they're trying to renegotiate. I don't know exactly where that stands, but there's been a lot of those fights.
Well, there's the same situation with a lot of cities. I know for a while, like Uber in Vegas, for example, where the cab industry is dominant. Or like New Orleans, they only recently, I think starting September, October 2014, allowed Uber to come into the city, but they don't let you do Uber X. It still has to be like black car service Uber. So that's how they're trying to crack down and not allow it to affect the taxi cab industry. And then in LA, for example, and I think a number of airports are doing this, they won't let Uber drivers pick you up at the airport because they don't want it to hinder with the cabs either. So.
Well, no, but that's interesting though too, because there are some legitimate issues in here. And if you suddenly have this huge influx of people going to the airport to at busy times to pick up passengers, they're unmarked cars. They're hard to find.
Right.
Where are you? And there's 8 of these black cars and just people driving around trying to find them. One of the reasons they have taxi stands and taxi drop-off areas was to manage that problem.
Right.
Now you're cracking it open again. That's a legitimate issue.
Well, it was easy here at Sky Harbor, though. When I called the Uber, they just call me on my cell phone. We coordinate where I'm going to be picked up, and that's how we do it. Fun fact. Here's a question from Radar Love. I often feel like I need to leave extra cash for Uber drivers. Do you? Nope, not at all. It's not part of the rules.
Yeah, tipping is a whole other is a topic all by itself that'd be fun to talk about. Like how much you tip, when do you tip, if you're picking something, if you just run in to pick up food, do you tip? I tip, I support, I've worked, I think everybody should work in retail at one point in their lives because then you realize how hard it is. So I'm a good tipper when appropriate, but Uber was set up as you don't tip, so I don't tip.
Right, it's not part of the rules.
Yeah, totally with you on that one.
All right.
But the other variation on Uber in the housing side is Airbnb. Now, have you ever used Airbnb?
I have stayed once at Airbnb, but it was with a group of friends, and it was out of my friend's account. So I've browsed it a lot, though.
Got it. So Airbnb, if you're not familiar with it, is where people say, hey, I'm going to take a little bit of my house or an extra room or whatever it is, and I'm going to put it up to rent. and you can just say, hey, I'm going to stay there for a little while, and you book it almost like you would a hotel. And it's an enormously popular service to the point where people are buying properties. This has been a big thing in Las Vegas. People will buy a condo just to put on Airbnb. So they're no longer renting their homes, they're actually setting up separate properties.
It is really cool. It's a great concept. And I believe Airbnb was quite the success here during the Super Bowl week, right? I'm sure. And the thing is, you can adjust the prices according to the demand or the season. So, for example, someone here in Phoenix, the summers people don't visit as much in the summer, probably offer cheaper prices. But winter, spring training, Super Bowl, all that sort of stuff, they could just jack those prices up.
Yep. And I think but again, the related issue there is, okay, wonderful. You have people renting out their homes or their places, but are they safe? Do they have working fire alarms? Is there a carbon monoxide detector? Do they have bed bugs? You just have to be
really trustworthy in a lot of these situations.
Well, and I think for a lot of that, they have, that's why they have hotel regulations, to monitor that kind of stuff.
Right.
And when you're staying in someone's place, that's not there. So yeah, I think the hotel industry, in part, like the cab industry, has fought back just because they're scared.
Right.
But also, there's some valid issues there, so you have to tangle all that apart. So, has anyone in the chat room stayed with Airbnb? Had a good experience or bad?
Joe Foley, what % do you normally tip, Jeffrey? Called you Jeffrey.
Well, Joseph. Also, that's another minus 10 points for you for that. Just kidding. I'm usually at least a 20% tipper. That's kind of my norm.
What if they're jerks? You still give 20%? Or does that when you drop to 15? Or even 10?
I'll drop down if they're jerks. But I really try to separate, if it's tipping in a restaurant, where the problem came from. If I see them, they're rude, or they're hanging out on their phone chatting, and I'm like trying to get their attention, and I see my food up there getting cold at the window. I hate that. I've done that before. I've gone up, it's like, is this for me? And then they get all mad, but it gets the issue going. Then I'll drop my tip. But sometimes it's the kitchen. Sometimes they're just busy. Sometimes something else is going on, and I hate to penalize the waiter just because there's some other issue at work. So.
Well, that's a good answer.
I tend to be a good tipper.
So shall we move on to our second topic?
Yes.
So there's a lunar eclipse tomorrow. Let's discuss. I put this in the Tech Talk with Jeff category because it falls into Science Talk with Jeff. Which doesn't have the same ring to it.
But now you spooked me here because I thought it was actually tonight/Saturday morning.
Well, I guess it is, but if someone like Joe Foley in the UK, it's Saturday.
Yes, I don't think he's going to be able to see it very well.
But I know that we can see it over here, but overnight sometime. Technically, it's Saturday. It's after midnight is what I'm saying.
Yes. So if you are in North America, and especially west of the Mississippi, is going to have a fantastic view.
Us. Yeah,
yes, we are west, the west young man. You are going to see a fantastic lunar eclipse, or what looks like a blood moon. And if you've never seen, so if you're not familiar with the difference between them, a solar eclipse is when the moon passes between the sun and you see the sun go dark during the day. And here what happens is the Earth passes between the moon and the sun.
Should we show some pictures?
Show some pictures. So what happens here is the light bends around the Earth, and the red portion of the spectrum hits the moon. And I don't think you see Michael Jackson in front of it there. Werewolves.
The Jordan logo.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting pictures here when you talk about the blood moon. But anyway, the light bending around the Earth is what gives it this red
That's so
hue.
Cool.
Now, if you're going to see this, what you need to do is go out. I think it starts about 3:15 in the morning, and you're going to get about, I think, an hour and 45 minutes of the onset of the eclipse. And I think this is actually going to be a very short lunar eclipse. I think it's going to be only about 5 minutes full duration.
Okay.
And that's going to happen just before 5 a.m.
Arizona time.
Pacific time, which is also Arizona time.
Right.
So if you're watching in Arizona,
so either stay up really late or wake up really early.
Yeah, get up, set your alarm for 4:45, and then walk outside. You'll see the bulk of it. It's really neat to see. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, kind of a nerdy little thing. We just had a solar eclipse not too long ago, but it was not visible in North America, so I had to have friends in the UK. I had to live vicariously through their pictures of it. So, I don't think the next North American solar eclipse is going to be until August of next year, I believe. Just whipping out the nerdy stuff everywhere here. So,
Steve C is moving to Tempe in like 4 days from California, from the Bay Area.
Oh, welcome, Steve. Welcome to the Valley.
Make sure to tune into Fox 10 on your TV set. Well, you're already a loyal News Now viewer. I assume that you'll be tuning in.
And you can watch it online. Joe Foley, 1 o'clock. Will you see much? Probably not from the UK. Not going to be visible at all, especially in the middle of the day. But hopefully you are awake and having fun while we're all sleeping. What else is going on?
David Hogg, 1967. Is this live? Yes, that's how we're able to talk to you directly. Yes, David Hogg, this is live. There's about a 30 second delay or so between what we say and what you guys actually hear on air, but it is live. News Now.
Yep. This is, we are streaming from Channel 10 in Phoenix, Arizona. And we do this twice a day, 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and when there's breaking news.
Sometimes it's not even twice a day. It's just like we start one and then the day has passed and it's a whole day.
Yes.
Just depends on how much news is going on.
Yeah, so if you haven't yet, you can download our app. It's free for Android and the iPhone. And you'll get an alert when we go on the air. And then you can hop here and join us. Love having more people come in, chat about the news, share the topics you're interested in, and participate.
I really like when we have new names and new viewers. David Hogg, 1967. Nice. I never knew this existed. Welcome. I'm like, that's a new name.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's actually a few here. I see a lot of our regulars, but there are...
Sick Pup. Who's Sick Pup?
I do not know who Sick Pup is. And there's a few that I know here, but I don't know exactly where they live. So.
Well, Dan in Florida, I wonder where he lives. That's a hard one.
Yes. All right, we have...
I know we'll be going live actually to Chase Field in just a couple minutes. Jill Monier's out there. They have these new security measures that they've implemented starting today. So spring training ended yesterday. This is an official exhibition game today and tomorrow. Diamondbacks versus Chicago Cubs, and I believe gates just opened at 4:30, like literally 5-6 minutes ago. And Jill is out there, so we'll be talking to her in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm getting. We can see Jill's feed here, and I'm not sure who her cameraman is, but I'm getting dizzy watching it. So they're all over the place.
So as soon as she's able to dial in, we will go live to Jill Monier out in Chase Field, just less than a mile away here from the station.
It is. I don't know. The security thing is another one of the 1,001 topics that get Jeff going.
Why does it get you riled up?
Well, I worked, again, previous job, previous lifetime, I worked in information security for a while and corporate security and stuff like that. Not as a security guard, but as, someone dealing with hackers and cyber security and things like that. And watching a lot of this, a lot of the security protocols and the things that we have to do are so ridiculous, and they I'm so boring, but I'm the most interesting dude. Not sure how I manage to be both boring and interesting. I try to be interesting in the most boring possible way. It's a talent of mine. But no, there's a lot of things that we have to do now for security that really don't help much. I mean, I can't count the number of times I've had to take off my shoes at an airport.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
Because this one idiot tried to do something with a shoe. Nobody else is going to do that. They caught him. They would catch anyone else who tried to put bomb in their shoe,
Right.
we don't need to be taking off our shoes. And now to make every single person go through security screenings at a baseball game is nuts.
Right.
But we have Jill.
We do. We have Jill Monier, who is live at Chase Field. We're going to check in with her right now. Jill, what's going on with these new security measures? Jill, can you hear us? I don't know. Jill, can you hear us?
In and out.
Oh, it looks like we have lost Jill Monier. But you saw her, and we'll be chatting with her as soon as she is available. So, Jill, if you can hear us, wave to the camera, and we will talk to you in a second. As long as you are good on your end, we are good on our end, Jill. Just send us a little wave to the camera, and let us know you're ready. We're watching her, which is the interesting thing. Because we're watching her listen to us, but I don't see her wave, so I'm not sure if she can actually hear us or not.
I think why... Is there any reason up here she might not be able to?
I don't know. Perhaps it's this.
I think that's just the...
I'm not really sure, but once Jill is ready to chat with us, we will bring her live to you guys on News Now. As far as we know, she is having difficulty hearing us right now. Live shots, technology. Even though we can live stream with you guys and chat directly with you guys here on YouTube, sometimes some technology we've had for years just doesn't pan out.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to go see if I can give her a call.
Well, I can ask Steve to check in.
Yeah, why don't you ask Steve to do that?
He's typing right now.
Yeah, so we can see up here on the different screens that we have, we can see a lot of the different feeds, and we can see Jill's feed, and we see her calling in. We see her on her phone. And so it looks like we've got a problem with the IFB. Yeah, I'll just call her and we'll do a...
Oh, now we've lost it altogether. Well, hopefully we'll be able to bring you Jill Monier live here on News Now. If for whatever reason we can't fix these technical issues, then minimally you'll be able to see Jill Monier live on the Fox 10 News at 5 p.m.
with the wonderful new security features down at the ballpark.
So, we are working on it. Maddie Mason, text her.
That's what I might do.
Yeah, we're ready. As long as they're ready, we are ready.
Okay, I'm going to step out and see if I can get a hold of Jill.
You work on that. If you want, you can send Courtney back. She wanted to hang out more on News Now. I told her that she could come back after you leave. Because we have a whole bunch of other talkers that I could discuss with her.
Thank you, everybody, and if I'm not back, have
Jeff.
a fantastic
Well, now Jeff has to
weekend.
go handle the tech issues and figure that out.
Tech Jeff is on the job.
Good
Thank
job.
you, everybody.
Thanks for joining.
Have a great Easter, if that is something you celebrate.
Send us to Courtney.
Yes.
All right, guys. Courtney Griffin will be back with us in just a second. If we're not able to get that live shot from Jill, do that live security show and tell at Chase Field, fret not, because I have a handful of news topics on my list this afternoon. So at least Courtney and I will be able to chat about that. She sits kind of far from News Now, so we'll give her some time. 15, 20-second walk at least. What is going on? What is your favorite TV show? Who are you asking? Radar Love, who are you asking is the question. Because if you're asking me, I'm very loyal to Fox sitcoms. And I was loyal to Fox sitcoms even when I was working for another network. So that, that's a genuine answer. All right, well, while I wait for Courtney, let me see, what story can I show you guys? I was talking about Lunar Eclipse. Here's a news story. This is a story that aired yesterday, I believe, about the possible increase in fees for people that rely on solar energy. Let me pull this up right now. If I can find it. Never mind, I can't find it. Courtney, come hang out. Come sit. Come chat.
Hi, I'm back.
Welcome. Okay. So.
Ooh, we got the rundown.
Yeah, we have a couple of stories left. One story, this one I think is out of New York, and I think it's the science or the logic behind comfort food.
Oh, yeah. This is interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds you of when you were younger?
Yeah.
I believe it. There's a lot of things I'll eat that I really don't even care for, but I'm like, oh, I had this when I was younger, my mom, childhood.
Right,
You know.
I feel that way about McDonald's cheeseburgers.
French fries.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this story, and then let's discuss our comfort food comforts right after I play this story. Let me just pull it up.
Pasta. I like pancakes, bacon, I guess.
Who doesn't love comfort food?
Grilled cheese.
At the Orion Diner and Grill in Kips Bay, customers have plenty of tasty comfort food favorites.
Does it make you think of your childhood ever? Regular grilled cheese does. Sometimes I order it with tomato, which I never did as a child. So if I really want to be nostalgic, it's just plain straight grilled cheese.
New research shows there's a reason we love comfort foods like macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, all the fattening good stuff. And it's not just for the taste. A University of Buffalo professor studied the social and emotional ties to food consumption. That's a mouthful. Anyway, she found people not only sought out comfort foods when feeling down, but actually enjoyed the taste more when feeling sad.
We're all looking for a way to connect to our childhood and to when it was easy to be comforted, or when it was easier to be comforted than it is now.
The research also found that those comfort foods were actually an extension of our good feelings toward the people who served us those foods when we were kids. So here's to you, Mom. Thanks for the macaroni and cheese.
I serve it to them all the time because it's easy to make.
These moms agree with the research findings. Comfort foods are often worth the splurge to keep the kids happy.
You got it?
One thing the research forgot to mention, how the right comfort foods can quiet a hungry crowd in a hurry. Sharon Crowley, Fox 5 News.
Oops. All right. That just made Courtney and I really hungry.
Yeah, I was already hungry. Now I'm starving.
That's the thing. When you're covering food stories, it's like
Can you imagine
you need
working
to eat
in a
before.
restaurant even and the smells?
I actually, in college, I was a hostess at a restaurant.
Which one?
It was in Fresno. I did it in the summers when I was back home. It was called Dai Bai Dang. It was like Asian fusion, kind of like P.F. Chang's. I just had to wear all black and talk to people and write things down and seat them.
Did you find yourself eating that kind of food more since you worked there, or less?
Only because we got the 50% off discount.
Ooh, 50%.
And
That's pretty
the thing
good.
is, when everyone found out about my discount, all my friends wanted to go because then they got the discount too. So it became this thing where I became sick of it after a while. But no, we were chatting about comfort food prior to this. What are your comfort foods?
Comfort food, mashed potatoes, grilled cheese. I didn't think of that, but maybe. Definitely macaroni and cheese.
Is there any healthy comfort food? I feel like the whole definition of comfort food, at least when they use the term, I automatically think of things that are really bad for you, like health-wise.
Yeah, I never really hear of broccoli or carrots and hummus. There's this one ice cream too. It's bubble gum. It's blue with actual little pieces of bubble gum. I got it every time I went to the ice cream store with my family when I was in preschool. And so now when I see it, it's very rare. Nobody really has it anymore. Have to get it, and I don't even really want it. I want the chocolate,
Yeah,
I'm
but
nope, the bubble gum.
It's that childhood thing where it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to know for the viewers at home, what are your comfort foods as well? Let's see what you guys are saying.
Someone said mac and cheese.
Laura likes basic Kraft mac and cheese, no milk, all butter and cheese. Steve C is a bacon guy.
Bacon.
Alfredo saying mac and cheese has to be made a specific way. The cheese has to take the
pizza donuts. Is that a donut? Yeah.
Jonathan just gave us visuals of what he likes: donuts, pizza, beer, cocktails, and mussels.
Mussels.
Pretty sure pizza doesn't get you mussels, Jonathan. A lot of people on the mac and cheese bandwagon.
Yeah. Lasagna, that's a good one.
Lasagna's
That's a really
good.
good one.
like Billy Z. Cruisin', I like making really good mac and Swiss cheese. That's a special, that's a different take on it.
Swiss cheese? Gouda. Gouda cheese is so good.
Gosh, food. Comfort
So what are
food.
your comforts, did you say?
I really think that, and the viewers here know that I have this weird thing with McDonald's, and I really think it goes back to childhood. I really want to say that McDonald's has to go back to Happy Meals.
I was going to say, the little
Happy
toys.
Meals, you wanted the toys, so because you always wanted to collect the toys, you had to get the Happy Meals, so then you develop this attachment to Happy Meals.
Yeah,
which
it's
is why
true.
when I think of McDonald's, sometimes the simplest thing, like a double cheeseburger, which is just a larger version of a cheeseburger, can
No
make
Big
me
Macs?
so happy. Sometimes I like Big Macs, not going to lie.
Chicken nuggets? Yeah.
All of
chicken
them,
nuggets.
but
yeah.
you know, that for me is the weird comfort food that reminds me of childhood. I
So
can't.
how often do you eat McDonald's?
Definitely once a month for sure.
Okay.
Not all the time. It really just comes down to weird cravings, or it's 2 a.m. and
Or you're
it's down the
tired,
street.
yeah. It's
There's
easy.
McDonald's right here, but I don't go too often. Although one morning, Corey left and brought me and Ron McDonald's
Oh, nice.
on the morning edition of News Now, and they watched as I ate my cheeseburger in front of them.
I will say I have been to that McDonald's already.
Yeah, it's
like
part of the
2 days ago. I got an Oreo McFlurry.
Did you drove, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
Walking is
I only
not
walked
the best
once.
option.
And I walked with Jeff. And the one time we walked there, I believe we saw a man, I believe a homeless individual, with his hands inside his pants. And it was a very disturbing sight. My first time at that McDonald's. Like
That's a nice McDonald's,
I'm
too.
brand new to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And this is what I see. I'm like, never again will I walk to this McDonald's.
No walking.
Yeah. It's a great place to drive through.
Yeah, they have two drive-thrus.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they have really good lemonade.
Ooh, lemonade. That reminds me of Chick-fil-A. Have you
Chick-fil-A's
had their lemonade?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yes, so good.
Big fan of Chick-fil-A as well. I had their lemonade last week.
Ooh, now I want Chick-fil-A.
I
The
want
waffle fries.
Chick-fil-A breakfast.
Really good.
Amazing.
I've had that, yeah.
So good. Chick-fil-A breakfast trumps Chick-fil-A dinner. Chick-fil-A is one of those places that needs to implement the breakfast all day option.
What they really need to do is open up on Sundays.
That goes against everything they do, though.
This past Sunday, my sister and I we're starving. Let's just go get food real quick. We literally are in the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, and there's orange cones. I'm like, no.
Well, that's the thing, and I think Jeff said it the other. You always end up craving Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
Every time.
He said that.
Got Jill sorted, so we're just going to do the Catholic row.
Okay.
So we move back up. We'll see her in a second. And then if you want to bring this back up, you'll let me know. We'll old school.
Okay, cool. Well, just a heads up, our tech expert, Jeff, has fixed those technical difficulties, so I believe we'll be going to Jill Monier in just a second. Again, she's at Chase Field. You've probably been, I'm assuming you've been to Chase Field since you're local?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. So, yeah, but she's out there, going to go live for 5 as well.
She's going live for the 5, but she's also going live for News Now, giving us an update or a preview on the new security measures out at Chase Field. So we'll be learning some stuff from Jill Monier in just a second. I see her, and
oh, there she is.
Yep, I see her feet. We'll be
Cute
seeing her face
shoes.
very soon. Very nice shoes, Jill. And this should be fun. I haven't been to a Diamondbacks game yet. That's on my list of things to do.
Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I want to
went
go.
a couple years ago, yeah. That's about it.
I want to go.
I just don't have a lot of time to go to concerts and all that, the
Right.
athletic
Especially when
events.
you're on a morning show shift, it's really
I
like
know.
it conflicts with your sleep. So, but even on my shift, I'm so beat after work that I there's this game at Chase Field tonight, and I considered going. I was like, oh, it's 6:40. I could totally make it after work, but
Yeah, 'cause it's close, right?
Yeah, it's walking distance.
Yeah, it's
but now I'm just getting lazy. I'm like,
Is
or I
this,
could
this
just go
is
to
the
dinner.
first game?
No, it's not. It's an exhibition game. So spring training ended yesterday. There's an exhibition game today and tomorrow, and then I feel like the official start of the home opener is on Monday, like the official home opener.
Ooh, I wonder if it's going to be packed.
So, Jill's ready? All right. Right now we are going to go live to Jill Monier out in Chase Field. Let us get that new security update. Jill.
So you might want to show up a little early to Chase Field this baseball season because fans are going to have to be going through some metal detectors. And let's take a look. The season ticket holders got let in around 4:30 today. They're among the first to be going through these metal detectors here at Chase Field. And it's really easy. Similar to going through an airport. You see that man put his wallet, his keys, in the tray, walking through, and that's that. You don't even have to take off your shoes like at the airport. Now, there's no x-ray machine, so bags are just checked as normal. Security will just look through them. And there is an express lane that you can go through. It's over here on the other side. If you don't have any bags, you can just walk through that express lane. It's supposed to be much faster. And you can see the other fans lined up here, ready to go through. Again, the season ticket holders were let through early at 4:30. These gates open up at 5. In 2015, the Major League Baseball mandated all 30 ballparks have metal detectors as additional security. The Diamondbacks president and CEO Derek Hall says there's no specific threat, no reason in particular. He says he's talked about doing this for a while and says in this day and age that people expect it and want it, and fans we talked with don't seem to mind. And again, we should mention the bag policies here have not changed. It's still 11 by 11 by 15. You can't have anything bigger than that. The first pitch tonight against the Cubs is at 6:40, and the Diamondbacks season opener, home opener, is April 6th. That's a Monday at 7:10 p.m. against the Giants, guys.
All right, thank you, Jill, for that update from Chase Field. Basically, just prepare accordingly, I would say, for any future trips. I think that's with any sporting event or any activity.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared. Don't bring a lot of stuff.
I was going to say, don't bring anything, really.
Because you'll get
your cell phone and keys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you'll get all the food you need there. And what else do you really need at the game?
Yeah, you don't.
Maybe
People
a
that are
hat.
bringing stuff are sneaking stuff in.
Maybe a
Big
hat.
purses.
I know.
A hat, that's a good idea.
You know what, though? Big purses.
Lather on sunscreen before.
Big purses are great if you want to sneak, like, Starbucks into a movie, for example. I've
Have you
definitely
done that with your
that.
Starbucks?
Oh, yeah. Like, how can I strategically fit this Frappuccino, but it can't fall, so
I
you
was
just
gonna
have
say,
to
what if
hold
it
your
spills?
purse.
Yeah.
You hold it, so it's... I've succeeded. Let's
You've
put
got
it that
this
way.
down. Hold
I did
it,
when I
walk
saw
in.
Gone Girl. I felt so proud.
Gone
I was back
Girl,
home in
yeah.
Fresno, and I was like, am I going to be able to do this? And I succeeded at sneaking in
I've snuck
coffee.
in some popcorn.
Oh, wow.
The popcorn's like $20.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
like
no.
5, but still. So make my own popcorn.
That's good.
Put it in a little baggie, hand it out to my friends. We're good to go.
Yeah, I've snuck an In-N-Out here.
Oh, really? And now, ooh.
Here in Arizona. I don't even remember what movie it was, but it was delicious. that
Yes,
In-N-Out.
that
Oh my
is
God, why are we
delicious.
doing this
I
to ourselves?
know,
Both of
we're
us are like
sitting here
starving.
thinking about food. I can
I
almost
feel
smell it
my
now.
stomach growling. It's like,
me
oh,
too.
just eat something. And I'm like, oh my God. What are they saying?
Is it gyros or gyros, right?
It's
A gyro. Or is it a... People say it differently. I think I say it
They
wrong.
say Euro.
Euro,
They
there we go.
say
Yeah, there we go.
gyro. It depends who you're asking.
Gyro,
But
you
it all
just make it
sounds
up.
delicious. I am so hungry. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Especially after that
TGI
comfort
Fridays.
food. Oh my
Are you a
gosh.
fan of sushi? Let's just keep talking about food to get us through
I
it.
am a fan of sushi. I had sushi last night.
Ooh,
because I wanted
yum.
something healthy and I wanted takeout, and I was like, what do I get? And there was a sushi place on Tatum and Shea.
Yeah.
And I just got it. And it
Yeah,
was good.
sushi's the way to go because it's quick, it's fast. You
And
don't
you
feel
don't feel
gross
bad about
after.
yourself.
Yeah,
Unless you
it's
get the ones
healthy.
that are like super deep fried and like loaded with cream cheese. And then you're
Yeah.
just like, all right, is this really healthy, or
Philadelphia.
should I have gotten the
Las Vegas roll at Raw.
should I gotten just McDonald's at that point? You just accept that you probably should have. Sometimes you can make sushi like worse for you than a McDonald's Big
Really?
Mac. I think so. If
I
you get
guess
the
if
one
you-
that's deep
yeah,
fried
if
and
you
like
fry
everything
it,
else in it, I don't know.
The cream cheese.
That's my take. I don't know. But yeah. So you're from here. What food places? Because I'm still relatively new to the area.
Yeah.
I've been here 4 or
there's-
5 months. Where do you recommend I eat? Or for example, I have friends coming in
Oh,
right now. They just
yeah.
landed.
Wait,
Where
let's
should
talk
I
about
eat?
this, birthday girl.
Oh gosh.
Where are you going for your birthday? Any celebrations?
Well,
After dinner?
I'm gonna go out to dinner, but I'm also giving like the tour of Arizona to my friends who have never been here.
Okay.
So that's part
Do you
of
have a
it
list
and
of
part
what
of
you
the
wanna
exact.
do?
I have a really long list that we wrote yesterday.
Ooh, let me
with
see this.
Steve and the different things. So Top Golf was on this.
Okay. I don't even know what that is.
Top Golf, it's like a golfing place. Steve says it's amazing.
Is it indoor?
I don't know anything about it really, but I trust my boss when he says that it's amazing. He recommended Hot
Yes,
Toddy, the
number
burger
one.
bar. So Mill Avenue, we have the Sun.
Stand up, that'll be cool.
Well,
Go-karts.
Well, Stand Up Scottsdale, I have 2 friends performing there tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. But then I also have a friend performing at Tempe Improv tonight, so I don't know whose show I go to.
I wonder what one's better.
They're all good. I've seen them all perform. Actually, a few years ago for my birthday, speaking of birthdays, my birthday for 2012, so 3 birthdays ago, another friend of mine threw a birthday party, like a Comedy Central style roast for me.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And
That's creative.
the 2 guys that are performing at Stand Up Scottsdale roasted me.
Really?
For my birthday that year, and it was amazing. They made fun of Fresno. They made fun of me being on my phone all the time.
So they have to know you pretty well to do that.
Yeah, I think everyone, you can know me for 5 minutes and know that I'm on my phone all the time.
Well,
Hi, Troy.
Business, yeah. Yeah. Are you on TV today? I am. In a little bit, I'm going to head in there. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I don't know
Okay, yeah,
yet.
back to this list. So
There's different things. Sanctuary Bar. I've heard so many different things.
I don't even know. Oh, Phoenician, I know that one. First Friday. What about hiking Camelback?
I can't. No. I have to start. I have to start small. If I hike, it's going to be A Mountain. It's not going to be Camelback. You can't just start.
That's true. Camelback. Yeah, my first experience was rough, so definitely start on something else.
Right.
I'm trying to think what I did. I mean, I lived here when I was in high school. Basically.
Dan in Florida, free sub at Firehouse Subs for your birthday with your ID. Thank you.
And Starbucks.
Well, I actually used my free drink. This is actually my birthday
drink.
What did you
get? I would have gotten like a birthday frap. Did you try that? They had
it was
that.
gross. It wasn't that good.
It was like strawberry whipped cream or something.
It was raspberry whipped cream. The whipped cream was actually good, but the actual drink itself wasn't good.
I'm like the opposite. I like the drink kind of, but not the whipped cream.
All the drink was a vanilla frappuccino with hazelnut. I talked to them about
really?
it. Mm-hmm. You can get it all year round. This was an iced caramel macchiato with soy.
Ooh, yum. Okay, that's a good one. You just can't get the plain coffee.
No, because not when it's free.
Yeah, you got to.
You want to max out. Like this costs $6 normally.
Yeah.
I got this for free. Thank you, Starbucks. Yeah. So there's a lot of ideas. I don't know yet.
Gardens, the zoo. Wait, zoo lights. Is that only a certain time of year?
What zoo lights? Where's that?
I think that may only be a certain time of the year.
There's
they light up the zoo.
There's donut places, Fractured Prune, Bosa.
Ooh, have you been there?
Where?
We had one in South Carolina, Fractured Prune.
There's one out there? Well,
yeah,
we have
just opened up.
There's, Jeff brings it in sometimes.
They're so
here
good.
in the newsroom.
Fresh. Let's see. Hibachi, like where they cook in front of you. That's always fun.
That's cool too. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I don't want to think about it right now. It's stressing me out. Actually,
shopping. Fashion Square.
I'm not going to show my friends in LA the mall.
From LA. They probably have.
We have malls there too. I want to show them like. Here's the cactus. That's going to be more exciting to them than the mall. I swear. I remember when I first saw a cactus, like. When I first came out here and just saw a cactus on the road, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
They are very
And
cool.
then after day 2, you kind of get used to it. You're like, whatever. But every single friend of mine that's visited thus far gets excited when they see a cactus.
I believe it. Because even when I was gone for like 2 years and I came back to visit once, I saw that cactus and I was like, that's so weird. Like when you live here, it just becomes normal.
Right.
But when you're gone, you come back, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
It is really cool to see. So there's that. Actually, the newscast just started, and I know I kept telling you guys to watch our newscast. Go to fox10phoenix.com to see all of the great stories we have on our newscast. So I feel like this is an opportune time to wrap up news now. Send you guys to fox10phoenix.com to watch the 5 o'clock, and you'll be able to see Courtney at 5:20 for her TV debut.
My first one.
Or her story debut. She was on the morning show this morning too. But so I'm going to push you guys there now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always, interacting with us, sending us questions, comments. Zena and chat room and Jonathan, thank you guys for the flowers and the balloons and everything. That's amazing.
Yeah, happy early birthday.
You guys have made my April 3rd absolutely amazing, and it'll be a great way to go into April 4th, so thank you. And for those of you who haven't done so already, I have to tell you, go to youtube.com/fox10phoenix and please hit that subscribe button. It would be very appreciated. So, that's all I got.
Adios. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And happy first day on air
Thank
at Fox 10.
I'm going to get ready.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye.